on Facebook, and we are here today live on Facebook in a special webinar, Healing and a Genius, or Healing with a Genius, with Karen MacDonald. And Ryan Williams was down in Montecito and Summerland in Southern California. Donald and Ryan Williams, Ryan Williams just contacted us. He was scheduled to be on the webinar. He was down in the, what we call, Ryan Williams just, that was bleed in from the other screen from the Facebook page. Ryan Williams, who I understand is one of the developers of the Genius, and Karen MacDonald will be able to tell us more about him. He is in what we call the takeout zone in California that has been the target of so much weather warfare. It recently had a tremendous amount of weather warfare. All of us have seen those photos where all of the houses are taken out by the fires, but none of the forests, and that's been traced back to all of the Rothschild interests, and it's a tremendous land grab. And News Inside Out will be coming to you shortly with programs from various experts, both inside the government and out, because this is a clear attack upon the Republic of the United States of America. Today, we'll be concentrating on healing. And we're with one of our favorite healers, Karen MacDonald, KlanMother, all our relations, much respect. And I'm going to turn the webinar over to you, because you're going to tell us all about the Genius, and I can see that you've got your biomat right there in full view. And so please take us into your world, into the world of healing, and over to you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate all your assistance and support and loving kindness and understanding. It's amazing to be with you again, Alfred, and my kind regards again to Jerry and to you and yours. I know there's a lot of stuff that's been going on, and we really need to focus on the solutions, right? And this is really what I want to get across to people is I'm not in a world. I said I'm in this world, but not of this world, but I'm not really in it. So that's a war. So this is about looking at different tools or solutions to the pollution. And I think it's really, really important. You know, the Genius was something I came across because I was an avid biofeedback practitioner with the SKIO and in that SKIO realm and quantum medicine and pulsed energetic magnetic frequencies and scalar waves and Tesla rife plasma stuff. I loved everything. I was a former nurse. So when I got into oils and decolonizing people with colon hydrotherapy, it all came down to water, which is why that's the essence to life. And that's why I really get people back to the spring water, which I know where you are. There's one at Lynn Valley. So it's very important. That's why I was asked to be on tour with people like David Avocado Wolf in Seattle for the Thrival 2011 after Fukushima, because we knew we would be putting radiation protocols together. So this is one of the great things. And you're absolutely correct. You know, a lot of these incidents, we'll say, or events, or, you know, are they artificially, intelligently being put together, or is there another thing, agenda behind with the pedo gates and the things that we see with the Getty Museum, and why they're really taking out some of these strongholds that have been, you know, abducting people. So that's another reason why, is that people are having a lot of anxiety with a lot of the changes coming in. and they need to fully, comprehend and understand that this is a time of peace coming in. And a lot of this is the law of the lands being put in. And that's something that I do as the 13th White Bear, Shwekmat, Goctarian, whatever, international, multinational clan mother. So we're actually the head matriarch for all the clans and all the tribes presently, with my acting commander-in-chief, which is Chief Former Sergeant Patty L. Broussard of the Micmacs. So there are a lot of things that we need to come back to natural law. And it's kind of like going with flow, Alfred. If we have that inner radiation, the outer radiation is not going to affect us as much. The Wi-Fi is not going to affect us as much. So I really encourage people to get to the water, because when we start putting our pulsed energetic geniuses, we're going to activate your genes. And this is going back many, many generations. So this is not new technology. We all know about the secret space program, and you've got a huge following. So, I'm kind of talking to the choir here, and if you're not with the choir, then, maybe we'll go back to a little bit of basics. But radionics is something you can look up. And I've got some incredible talks at Project Ascension, and that's 50 videos just on healing and those kind of modalities. The Leak Project I've been on with Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, Vinnie Eastwood. Obviously, your show has been one of the best shows we've ever done. You and I, when we tag team, we get a lot of people. I've never been so inundated with people requesting help and healing. And that was something that, as a friend and having been to your place and, had down a tea and, received your book on exopolitics, we need to go back to basics. And this is one of the things that we do in here. So this is about sharing and gifting. So this is my gift to you. So I'm actually going to run a live session as I've done before and behind. So a lot of times I give people sessions behind the scenes and they're not aware of it. So this is what's called radionics. You can look that up, Royal Rife Machine, frequency. I've been on the Basis Project with Miles Johnson many, many times discussing this. And again, this is used by the military. It's used predominantly a lot in what people know as Russia. And this is part of the cosmonaut, astronaut program, NASA technology. And it's not even suppressed. It's very open in Germany and many of the other countries. And we do have about 40,000. And that's back when I was in 2006, or should I go back that far? I've been doing this since 2005, actually. We've got 2 universities of this caliber putting out medical doctors every day. And if they need to check that out with the validity of that, it's Dr. Paul Duran. And Dr. Paul Duran was the head and the vice president of all the MDs, or medical doctors, for the province of Quebec. And when he got into radionics and doing this kind of biofeedback technology, he developed live blood cell technology that we could now scan your blood with actually these machines. So we've just taken our big Skio or Indigo or E-Doctors, or there's a new one Neil Keenan was bringing out. But those machines are now getting to be on the other end. They're getting to be like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, Alfred. And that's going the wrong way. That takes us away from putting this into people's hands. And this is the kind of technology why I teamed up with Ryan Williams, who was set up the Vancouver Island, actually, Victoria Health Center, where I also had one set up as well. And that was with Bill Nelson, who was the developer of the Indigo. And again, they were part of teams. And they were part of the Apollo 13 project. So these were secret space programs that they didn't initially want out to the public. But by 2005, it was already out. So we've been using this full blown. The advantage that Ryan had, he had this aha moment. And he says, we should get this out to the people. How can we do that? And Ryan comes from a wide variety of 15 years of biofeedback and software technology, but he was part of the South Africa Army, just like Patty was part of the US Army. And so they had that extra intelligence that they were putting in software. So he was able to put it onto an app, and it's not inside the App Store because we're going to gift it out free for 2 weeks. Is that exciting enough for you? This makes it available to the general population. This is how we're going to raise the vibration of humanity, because I could not just do you today. I could do the puppy, I could do the land, I can do part of the planet. We can start transmuting some of the different things with radiation, because what you do is you can pick up the signal of the frequency of the virus. As a former nurse in neonatal, we could use this kind of technology. We used radionics all along. You got a department of radiology, right? We have ultrasounds, we have MRIs, we have CAT scans. We used to explode kidney stones for fun with ultrasound. And this is the same thing. So we can pick up the virus, pick up the life signal, or the AI. It's just like Morgellons or Lyme. it has a frequency signal. They're artificially made. And if I can find it, we can detonate it. So people could go to TED Talks and just put in biofeedback, or go to my Facebook at Karen Ann Lusick MacDonald, or Karen MacDonald, or one of my 4 Facebooks that aren't down yet. And you're going to find a wealth of albums and stuff like there. And you're going to see all this stuff even on TED Talks. So this is the kind of technology we're going to use again on you today. And I had a lot of people notice the difference before and after our session, even the first one, and even after I did one a week later. And we could see definite improvements in your color, in your speech, and again, giving information in the radio waves outside that visible spectrum, because we're going to be using things called subfidual tones. We're going to be using, which is your, you know, if we want a miracle, we can get you to 528, can't we, Alfred? You know, we're not going to be at that cancer level at 46. You know, any of my people that have done Young Living Wills, they know about frequency, and they know that people with diseases are below the, you know, the 55 harmonics, right? They're being done with that through electrical magnetic frequency. And just like those fires started, you and I are well aware, we've seen the evidence of the direct energy weapons and the pulsings that came in from above. And they were also attached to all the smart meters. And that's one of the first things I really encourage people to do. So I'll be talking about a wide variety of things of how to stop the direct energy weapons, or weapons of mass destruction, because they're really attached to your place. You know, and so I'll be talking about shielding and all sorts of things that maybe you or Jerry haven't done yet, or maybe the viewing listeners haven't seen in the audience. So I want to start with basics, and this is what we're going to start with. So let's get into, I don't want to be a genie, but we're going to activate your genes again. How's that? And they're not Levi Strauss. So, and feel free to ask any questions, okay? I'm going to send you the link, and I will send you the link in the chat room. I'm going to send you one that will connect to not only Ryan's, which is at Quantum Insight Health Apps, but I'm going to also send you one to Dr. Ariel Palacano, because she's my other top trainer, and we do lots of Facebook Live, and she's the biofeedback instructor. And she's one of the top, not only naturopathic doctors in Portland, and we've had the pleasure of meeting with Ariel, haven't we? She's amazing.
Yeah. And we'll be putting all of those links in the article that will be accompanying the video version of this webinar that'll be up on Exopolitics TV, Omniverse TV, and our various video channels at the conclusion of the webinar. So all of this will be happening also. And as you're talking, just so that people know, I'm busy sharing the live link on Facebook in your Facebook profile and in various groups around Facebook. So more and more people, it's like calling people to the village square. That's what I call it. So keep on sharing this tremendous insight with us.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. A lot of people think that this is difficult, and what I want to do is I want to dispel that myth, because this is not about a diagnosis, which means you die into the knowledge. We're going to give you some gnosis right now. So let's get into the know, let's get into the loop, and we're going to have fun, because you know what? If you're not having fun and at peace, we're not doing it right. So this is an application, and I joke not, as you know, I was off the grid and traveling, you know, abroad, nation to nation, tribe to tribe, you know. I was living out of a suitcase there for a few years, and I didn't want a cell phone. So I threw everything away. When I threw my center away and gifted everything away like a potlatch and a giveaway, I didn't want any technology. Okay, so the first thing I need to let people know is that this is not Wi-Fi based. This is an app or software that once you download it, if the whole grid goes down, I don't care, because it's on my iPad. And so you don't need the Wi-Fi or the EMF. So first thing people I know are concerned about is they need to look at discerning that this is not Wi-Fi based. Okay, and the app, I just sent the links for you to Dr. Ariel Palacano. So that link will take you directly to her site, and I'm going to send you one to Ryan's as well shortly. So what will happen is that all you have to do is have a standalone device. So it means that we or Ryan has put this app now so that it will function on an Apple, like an iPad, whether it's an iPad or a mini, doesn't matter. It will also go on a Samsung. So I actually tried out, I have a Samsung version and I have this. And in playing with this for the last 6 months, I found that the Apple is far superior. Not that it won't do something on a Samsung, because again, people are at different, they either have something in their hands or they don't. And Samsungs, let's just face it, are a lot easier to access for people. The other option, if you've got an Android 6, he's made it so that we can actually convert and utilize the Wi-Fi or the signals off the actual Android 6. So if you have a mobile phone or cellular phone, you could download it. The only difference is you can either use the phone or you can use it as a medical device. And again, not really a medical device, because they'd want to, try and get money for that and lock it down, Health Canada or FDA or someone. So this is why it's a free software thing, and we're gifting it away. So it puts it outside the jurisdiction when you know about the law of gifting, right? And so, this is untrusted. And what that means, if you're up here, they'll say, go ahead and untrust in Canada and hit the 868 number, because that means that you're not paying for it. And so we want to get rid of the trust accounts. That's the first way to start getting people, as I think they're rewilding them and getting their noble savage and their freedom rights back, So this is why I'm excited about this, because it's per email. So once you click on that, Alfred, is that you can have 15 days or close to 2 weeks free, unlimited use. And I said per email. So I have lots of clients that have actually just got a new email every 2 weeks until they were able to get into it. Because normally the softwares, like I said, the big machines, I don't even want that, because I don't want to be dragging around like a suitcase full of stuff on a PC and crap. Those devices are expensive. Like I said, $20,000, $40,000. They've made this device available to under $97 per month. And I've never seen anything like that. But the fact that it's out for free, that's all this is our first step forward. And so I really feel like I'm the Star Trek thing. So this is really fun. So once you get your iPad, and I can do this very quickly, I can do a demo in less than 10 minutes and you'll be feeling it. So part of the experience is what you're going to be feeling, because really it's connecting to our third eye. As Anastasia said in the Ring and Cedars, Russia, it's connecting to our divine ray. So you and I are connected at some level. So this is just the tuner in, just like a radio station we might have here in Saskatoon, like, C95 or whatever radio station. We are now tuning right into you. So this is your own, healing coming in. So you turn on the little button, and we laughed earlier because when Alfred got a hold of me, it was 1313. So we knew we were on to something special in our quantum numerology. So all you have to do is open the actual device up. It's going to say Jeannie's Insights here. And I have your information, okay? So you'll just type in simply your first, as they say, name. Second line is your second name. I like to always get the genealogy off someone, so your mother's side and your father, because that's data. There's the alleged birth date again there. You can just scroll that in, and you simply hit done. So I'm sure you could do that, right? That's not difficult, is it? Simple enough to do? Lesson 1. You're going to know more than any medical doctor by the time we're done. Okay, so all I hit is actually, it's going to have a little purple bar there, and you're going to have all these little things. And it will say, do you have allergies? We may have discussed, you had, what, a couple issues still left today? There might be some sinuses, something like that. So whatever floats your boat, so to speak, you can check it off. So it's maybe like an allergy or sinus. I will tell you, it doesn't matter what's above, it's really what's below. So we're going to talk about healing from the root, getting to the root cause, which is your root or base chakra. So we'll talk about steams and using lemon oil, and all the fun stuff might be up here, but really we got to go to that sine wave, so you're not a sinner anywhere. We need to get that root chakra into the, red opened up. So we'll be talking about steaming and vaping. I'll use basically water or hydrology methodologists. So I just type in whatever it is. So that means whatever's in here, I don't care if it's chemtrails to whatever it is, it's frequency. So those viruses and bacteria and geoengineering and whatever's being hit with us and Wi-Fi means that your system cannot digest it. So I don't care where the tumor is, where the gallstone is, where the ache and the pain is on the meridian. It's a digestion problem. Okay, even eyes and stuff like that. We're not able to move something out of that frequency. And I hear you. I mean, Alex is going photosensitive, my 23-year-old. Can't even go in a car right now because of the equilibrium imbalance. So we need to get stuff, and this is why it's really important. Like I said, I've got a girlfriend that's been putting me up after one of the health centers just went down. And so I'm looking. So if anyone's got contacts in Saskatoon, I would love to have a place if someone would be able to get us a couple rooms and stuff, or something we can get that way too. So I'm putting that out because I know I've got some amazing people that contacted me in Saskatoon. Pat Sickler and all the Sickler gang here was because of watching you, that were friends of my, you know, parents and stuff. So things come full circle here. So I really want to thank you for that, because that was a beautiful reconnection. Anyway, you just check off whatever you've got there. Simple enough to do. And then you hit the little button, which will say begin. And then you hit OK. So what we're going to do is you're going to become a karaoke star. So those people who have never heard Alfred's, you know, do a few tones out there or sing, we're going to have him say basically what he's called or his name. And we're going to have you say the vowels A-E-I-O-U. And then you can even just sing if you want, or make some music. We just want to get basically a voice analysis, because your voice carries emotion. It carries viruses, bacteria. It's fifth chakra, fifth dimensional technology we're bringing to you. So when I hit the little record button here, you're going to become an instant star, okay? I might join in after. So just going to hit, there's a little button here. It says record. And what it does is it's going to reboot, because I'm doing all the Ryan stuff here. He wants me to, as new viruses, bacteria, or things come up, you know, they're being made and hit by us. What happens is that Ryan finds the frequency for it. And so I do testing for them to upgrade with Ariel. So I actually developed the medical protocols that are being put in that will go to all the medical and naturopath doctors. So I'm really excited to be doing this. Okay, are you ready? So I'm going to count down. We'll go 3, 2, 1. Your name, the vowels, and sing. Do whatever you want. You're going to start.
Alfred Lambermont Weber. A-E-I-O-U. Who am I? I'm Alfred L. Weber. Who are you? Who are you?
I love that. I'm being serenaded. I don't know. Probably outside of Jerry, I might be the other one. We'll have to get a drum circle or something with medicine circle. Anyway, and Alfred's voice is very powerful, as mine is too. So, yeah, you. Okay, so as you can see, we were doing actually a voice. You can see there's a print here. It looks kind of like iridology. To me, it looks like live blood cell analysis. Also looks like your colon. So I can see where there's energy coming. So kind of like an aura scan of your voice. So it's what we call a logarithm. So once we get the voice, we're going to play a little thing. It says voice harmonics. So you're going to sound like in Star Wars C-3PO. So we're doing a feedback. Okay. Okay, sounds great to me. That's what you sound in computer. You sound like 3C-PO. But anyway, next Star Wars episode. Okay, so we're just going to hit here, and it's doing the logarithms, as you can see. It's called fast formulae. You can look up these words if you don't know what they mean. And we're going to be doing things called noje. So noje is something most people don't know about. And it's kind of like sulfidiotones, but it actually will go into the mesoderm or certain frequencies in a couple of hertz or to a couple thousand. Like, you know, when you're playing my crystal bowls like G, well, that might go into your bones. Other things might go into the organs. Some things go physically, mentally, emotionally. So that's it. So we're going to take a picture of you. And normally what you can do is you can do a little selfie, or a wheezy as I call it. And I just hit the little guy here and it will say take a picture. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up the camera here. I'm going to take it off here, not get you and not me. So I'm going to have you give me the biggest smile you've ever done. And there you go, clear. Okay, awesome. So you can see I got a picture here of Alfred, right? Isn't that amazing? Okay, very simple. We all know how to do these now. Like I said, I just started this 6 months ago, getting me on iTabs and stuff, you know? So if I can do this, anyone can do it. And by the way, I got 4-year-olds to do this. And I have people in their 70s and 80s, actually 83 is one of my oldest friends. I don't do clients, I have friends. Okay, so we're gonna use that photo. I love that, Albert. It says, okay, and I'm gonna hit the same thing, begin analysis, right? No big deal. And this is where technology is, even with Dr. Debbie Drake or all the different things. And the top clinics use this. Everyone's using it. I went to Ottawa and Dr. Andre Vatkar, right? They're using all sorts of great technology out there. but this is seriously some of the like most awesome stuff I've ever done, because you don't need to have the training. You train as you go, and you don't need to be schooled. We unschool you. So everyone's using these days. That's why it's so great. So you told me one thing. I'm going to type in a wish. What would it be? You said sinuses today, or anything else? Headache, joint pain, anything? Where are we going to focus? Physical, mental, emotional. Give me a wish list. One thing.
Uh, I want to move into where I'm talking smoothly,
Okay.
and my lifelong voice hesitation, stammering, and the targeting on it. So when I'm on the air and talking to people, it comes through very smooth, so nobody gets upset by my stammering. Like Demosthenes, I went into law because I went after and pursued my biggest disability at the time, which was a stammer. So I became a lawyer. How's that?
Isn't it funny? They always say we do careers that we really need to learn some things on this to run again. But yeah, no, it's amazing too. You know.
And now I'm a talk show host with a stammer. And you know, you should see some of the comments on YouTube.
Yeah.
Some of the guests, or no, some of the audience, it really upsets them to witness a person with a disability around speaking, and they get really angry that I would dare to have a talk show and to get into this line of work if I have a speaking disability. I mean, it just blows their mind. You know, I mean, it kind of like gets them really upset, but that's what I chose to do.
And I think that's really important. I remember when I first started one of my first radio shows way back before Blog Talk, and you were a guest of mine on with Dr. Tanya Minervino back in Dark City Radio. A lot of people do not fully comprehend what it takes for us to come out, and we got to have special clearance to do it. So like I said, I've been on all the major shows, and you know, Pyramid One to Vinny Eastwood to yours, and that voice is so important. And you know, I've had the same thing. We found, let's say, with Commander Chief Patty Broussard, who's been through the military and all the Gulf Wars, right? Lost all their teeth, radiation, can barely move. They're almost like disabled vets. But I would never want to challenge Patty. Patty's got one of the most brilliant minds that set up half of this planet. So, you know, the voice, I mean, missing the teeth from radiation because of what they did, or what you've had to, you know, succumb to, or again, there's post-traumatic stress. A lot of people, this is side effects too of emotional stuff that's happened with, I call SARA or SRA, but sexually abused or ritually abused children. Okay, a lot of it has to do with things that were, you know, oral sex stuff, suppressing our stuff. So a lot of it is just, it's still a fear, and it could be emotional things even back to childhood. So they don't realize as well that when your pH is so acidic, your voice is down here. It's you know, but as opposed to when I get alkaline and I see that litmus paper go purple almost, you know, with my clients, and they're getting alkaline at 7.4 orally, and you know, through the urinalysis that they can get on litmus paper at any health store, your voice changes. My voice changes depending on the pH. So when you're acidic, you know, and they're not eating like alkaline foods, you're gonna have a rattle. But we could look at some different things specifically to that, because there's a fear, and I use the word justice because we all know that means no loss. So part of that is to give the, you know, and share we're gifting people, right? We're doing it free, we're speaking in truth, and that's really what it's all about, and in peace and without commerce. And we're doing that as friends, and we can only walk our walk and talk our talk. What you have done for people is amazing. So that's my thing to you. We wouldn't be here doing that. And I do this for my friends. I don't do it for people, you know, that I want to. I'm not in here for money and for business and commerce. I have to walk those original laws of this land that go way back before Enki, Enel, and then in her hag. I'm still the original hag here left. They've killed all the other 25 women, but you got me to contend with, and I am a big one. I mean, we're winning. So once we got your voice, all we have to do after all that beautiful thing, anyone can hit begin analysis, right? Could you do that? See, we flash things at you so you don't screw it up. Okay, so that's one of the things in there we can do. So it's amazing. What we'll do is we now have got your analysis. We've got thousands of thousands. This is unlimited frequencies because we can keep programming it in. So people say, oh, I got the skill, I can do 12,000 frequencies, or I can do this many. This is unlimited because you can program it in. You can be programming this, and I've learned how to program it in like less than half an hour. So we got 30 panels. To me, it's like knock, knock, who's there? I don't teach medicine heavy duty anymore. Okay, so right now I'm going to scroll through anything that's red or blue. And I remember after we did some sessions with Dr. Ariel Policano, she went and looked and just to see what I had done and cleared. And she goes, there's nothing left other than get him some more vitamins. Like, you cleared all this problems, basically. Let's just get down to the next layer. So this is our next layer for you. Let's get down to what that is. And it could have been from childhood. And I know about the mind control programs and stuff too. So this could be stuff we're going to go down ancestrally or genetically. That's why it's called a genius. It's for the genes, like the genesis. Okay? Just, you know, just for us, maybe? I don't know. You know, it's for all. It's law. Okay, so anything that's red is going to flag here. And it doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means we got to look at it today. All these different departments. So I'm trying to see, whoa, there's some organs not, and I'm looking for red and blue because it's kind of like, I don't want it too low and I don't want it too high. We want it just right. So there's some sacred geometry. So the Merkabah's being hit. And I'm going to send you, because I got your email, so you're going to get a whole email of this. So the first thing I like to do is let's look at your aura. So all we do, and you can see how simple this is, hit button, hit OK, and then hit begin analysis. Okay, so we're going to focus on this for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'm going to focus on everything I brought down into my girlfriend's basement. We're going to show you how I can make a Medi Center anywhere. And I'm so grateful to my girlfriend. She's sitting back in there. She's opened up out of the kindness of her heart, her place to me. Because I, you know, required a place. And there's nothing like being with friends. Okay? Miracles occur anywhere. It's not in the surroundings, it's who you're with. Okay? So we're going for the miracle thing. You can see Alfred's thing here. So I can see a lot of stuff coming through. You can see how orangey grayish, that's stuff on the top chakra in the aura. Okay? So it's not functioning. So there's going to be something going in here. But I see a beautiful aura overall. I see a lot of blues. And I see a lot of that indigo starting to come through. What we need to do is still clear out that top here. So it's affecting a lot. You might think it's eyes, ears, nose, throat. Okay? Primarily more so on one side. Even when you see people with strokes and stuff like that. Okay? We need to clear that up. So that's going to be my focus today. And you'll see people with headaches or earaches, but it's really coming down. Okay, so there's a block, just suppressing everything right through into just about right into the shoulders here. Does that make sense to you? Do you resonate with that?
Yes, because as I've mentioned before, on July 30th, 2016, I was actually targeted and attacked with a remote directed energy weapon, DEW, that it targeted my eyesight, and it eliminated my direct vision in my right eye. And in fact, after that, I had to take a 6-week course at the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, learning basic living skills that they give to people who are legally blind. And I was issued a white cane so that I could do basic things like ride public transportation. So I learned how a whole group of people who are legally blind live. I mean, it was quite an education. And since then, I've you know, been able to come back. And so having that tremendous military grade directed energy weapon, I think, which came at the height of the 2016 US election campaign. I know there's a lot of context that I'm giving here, but I just wanted to give people context that it was part of a pattern that some sinister force was using, attacking journalists and others. And we'll be publishing something about this soon.
Well, you're going to actually see, we talked about that. So I want you just to see how accurate this is. Okay, this is my libraries that Ariel and I have been developing and making, and Ryan. Okay, so it's like muscle testing the idea or the frequency against it. So we got some emotional clearing to do around some of the digestion, brain anatomy, which is again correlating to what we saw. Microbiome and stuff like that, that's like biofilm or chemtrail residual. It's like when you swallow the stuff in, it's creating like a lead piping. So you got 30 some feet here. But basically that pipe is like a 4-story building. And so you're swallowing in the biome. It hardens energetically like lead paint. So it's like swallowing lead paint. So that's what the chemtrails do to us. And it coats things so that you can't access information. You can't access the food or the nutrients. But what's really important there is, what are you going to see?
Vision solutions.
Yeah. Yeah. Stuff to go under the hood, and looking again some more biofilm solutions and emotional stuff too, triple warmer and stuff. So we're going to talk about CELMAC and all these like secret things that have been suppressed and kept away. And yes, I was gifted that by different people through military, army intelligences, secret space programs. All sorts of people have gifted me things, plus the indigenous elders and tribes. So I carry both. It's like having the art and science or, you know, in there, but I want this available to people. I mean, clean water and clean food is utmost, and the air we breathe and the water that we walk on. So this is all about, you know, like you said, to all my relations, you get about my Baba and my ancestors, you know, this is our lands, right? So that's what it's all about, is sharing, you know, in there. So we did the libraries, and that's what I got all that stuff from. What's really below though here is you're going to see again brain anatomy. I'm looking for a story. You could be by someone and it's in the field, doesn't mean that it is. So I'm looking to navigate, kind of reading the pieces of the puzzle. So it says, it's really telling me we got to get into that brain up there. So direct energy weapons, I will give you a little secret. If you get your alkalinity up 7.4 and we get the right minerals into you, you're going to have a shield, like a plasma shield inside. We get the monatomics and stuff. You can take all the monatomics you want. You can take all the ormus. You can take the best supplements on the planet, which most of my clients do. But they haven't done the enemas and the colonics and the steams. And until you take that old information, that's old frequency and other people's information. So you're swallowing in and making deals and contracting still down there inadvertently. So it's just information. I know how to break it up. And this is where we're going to talk about those yoni steams again, and all the top clinics, all the top doctors use it. You can go into New York gynecologists. You could go to Gwyneth Paltrow. And this is the best kept secret. The czars, the emperors, all the guys are using it. In fact, there's a movie done, and you can see all the guys sitting on their gold thrones. Okay, so I can do it from a toilet. I can do it out in a sweat lodge. I can also get a steamer. You could go to Teekam Spa. They want 3,000. You could get one from Red Tent Wellness. They're 150. But I could make it out of your salad bowl. And if you got a hot plate with a little saucepan, you can do it with what you have. And we do with what we have. And I've had people, clients of mine on Facebook, I joke not, they've had 8 meds, from antidepressants to sleeping pills to high blood pressure to thyroid to everything you can think of, cancer, diabetes. All my clients are reversing it in, get this, 4 to 12 weeks. So this is nothing to snivel at. This is opening up your root chakra. That is like peeling back the rose. That's the Stargate. If you really know, you think Stargate's here, well, let me tell you, there's another one down there. And if you can't get to one, you ain't getting to the other ones. And I will tell you, as a colon hydrotherapist, I challenge anyone, look at the colon hydrotherapy. In fact, most colon hydrotherapists, I was just helping to open one up in Saskatoon, they didn't know. They were raw food chefs. They couldn't read, you know, I've got an apple here. Number 9 is organic. Number 876543 is all Monsanto and genetically modified. I mean, what do I do with people? You know, I was in the course because actually I found an undercover guy that said he was like part of CSIS and had a badge and had patches and stuff. And I was staying with some of these people. And I found out after a year and a half, something didn't jive. And I had the city police come in. And it turns out he was not RCMP. So what kind of people dress up in RCMP things other than doing abductions in my labs? So I was in the courts, just to let you know. And it was beautiful. I tell you, to have the judges say, we understand, Karen, we've been trying to understand, we're understanding the best we can. We know it's so simple to you, but we're doing our best. We're trying to, I'm understanding you. And that was so beautiful to have that in the court system, to recognize that. You know, the sheriffs and the deputy sheriffs, and it was carte blanche this time. So I really have to say there's been a huge shift, and the respect, you know, to the clan mothers and the women, you know, of authority. So it was nice to see that. And I really appreciate your respect and kindness in that. So that's what we got. We found that. We found out what the issues are. So all we have is like a medicine chest. And I always think of it as knock, knock. So we're going to go into the brain anatomy. I'm going to knock, knock. I'm going to look at it and go, whoa, I need to just deal with that issue. So you don't even have to know really what they are medically. You can look them up. But all you can do is put your finger on, highlight it. As always, the fun thing. You just highlight this thing and you drop it into your medicine chest and it's gone. You just hit zap. And that's the quickest form of Rifer radionics that's customized to you individually. Is that cool enough? Now your head, in about 3 minutes listening to the tones, as is the other listeners here, should start buzzing in about 3 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna isolate the vision. I'm also gonna honor your request and talk about the throat and stuff like that. So we'll talk about stuff like essential oils like SARA, which stands for sexual abuse and ritual abuse. Dr. Gary Young, who's one of my colleagues, put out. It's at a certain frequency, at 100 and some, about 102, 103 hertz frequency, to deal with the root chakra and take the charge off. So when I use those different oils and medicines in the steamer, vaping up, it's going to go right to the area of penetration and contracting. So you're going to break the psychic or the contract or the connections, the psychic attack. The psychic attack is on all frequencies. And that's how they attack people physically. So we're going to break the physical connection to the perpetrators. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'm going to do a... What was that? So that's how simple it is. It's really not that difficult. I give people a thing. There's something in here. It says with brain anatomy. So again, what part of the brain is not getting enough nutrition? Again, is it the direct energy weapon, the Wi-Fi and the 5G and all that stuff, which we've got to stop? But go down and let's start at the root chakra. If I can build your root chakra up, you will, if you know anatomy, I know this looks weird, but this is my head here. This is the side of the ascending colon. You can't be an ascending master of any lodge unless this is clean. So it's like going back into mommy's womb. We need to make sure there's nothing in there. And you'll start with a brand new thing and you will totally regenerate. You can regenerate your brain, your nerves, stem cells, whatever you like. So this is the kind of technology. So these are the remedies in here, and that's it. It's just so simple, just to put your finger on it and make the problems go away. It's virtual medicine. So you've seen all the stuff with the, you know, secret space program and all the stuff tech. This is it. It's always been here. So this is why I want to get this to people here. You know, neurotransmitters, you know, I could do a whole slew, but we looked at your aura. Maybe you need a certain tone. And again, just because it's not in the red doesn't mean I'm going to not fix it. And I'm going to enjoy to see after I've got about 10 things in here or 30, and I'm going to hit the frequencies. I'm going to just blast them back at you. There's no time, no distance, no space. So it says we need to transform and have miracles, which you know is 528, right? So again, we're going to give you into the miracle frequency. Cancer, all those things, what you're dealing with, you're below the 55 harmonics. Okay, we're going to start raising you up. So if I can raise this, open up that frequency, just like a fountain, that's the connection to the mother. I always want to look at 2 meridians because I like to play a traditional Chinese medical doctor. Okay? And this is going to tell me which meridian. So again, large intestine. I told you I was psychic, didn't I? It's all in the colon. That's how you decolonize. That's how you come off the system. So your ascending colon has to be cleaned so it can ascend up that meridian, right to the eyes, up to the crown, everything. So it doesn't matter what the disease is. I don't care if it's cancer, diabetes, what it is. You give me 8 hours with my colonic machine, you can reverse any disease on this planet in less than a day. So this allows me what it is. Now, if I want to become one more, we're going to tap once more. Knock, knock. Who's there? Large intestine. Large intestine who? Okay. Which number is it? Pick a number. It's like the roulette. So there could be some congestion. Having any sinus congestion, that kind of stuff up there, Alfred? Again, it's connected to the colon. We're going to start at the root chakra, above and below. There could be some even eye or burning pain or feeling like something is heating in there. Differentiating, even seeing colors, visual disturbances. Does any of that sound like you've been experiencing any of that? Okay, so instead of being a needle, because that's just archaic, seriously, you can use essential oils, but I'm going to use this, and I'm going to go into the acupuncture. This is like doing your acupuncture right there, done in radio waves. And I'm going to flip up, because that's the ones that's not really doing it, so it kind of inflate. But I'm going to go to the bottom and see what's not flowing at all. Okay, so within seconds, I've just scanned you. So think of it like a MRI or CAT scan, done like that. So I love this. And let's say spiritual protection. Who doesn't require that? Anything you want to add to? My girlfriend's in here. She's monitoring to make sure. Okay, I've got lots of friends too, right? These are people that have had, you know, from, like I said, I'm getting people off 20 years of Zoloft. I'm getting people that were stage 3, 4 cancer, gone within a couple weeks. That's nothing. That's child's play to me. Okay, it's all about the water once you know it. And that's why water's so specific in there. Chakras and stuff like that, your sacred geometry is there. Now, this is where I'm going to have Ryan change it with another guy is called actually Garnett Dupuis, who helped do the software too. So if you go to Dr. Ariel Policano, you'll see that link. You'll see what we're doing here. But again, fractals. So there's a lot of stuff that's out there. You know, they think they're doing the fractals of life when it's the fractals of death or the daisy chain of death. They're using things like Reiki, think they're doing masters and stuff, but they're using satanic stuff. And they don't really know or understand the implications. They just repeat things because they think it looks cool. But Fibonacci is telling a fib to you. You know, the point of coming back to singularity, we're not a universe. It's multinational, as you know. There's many of us here. We're not going to one artificial or point. You know, in fact, we should be going the other way. You know, expansion rather than contraction into, you know, the one, the God, you know. Those are all old terms, right, that are Vaticanized, or as I call it, it's like legal or medical mafia, you know, pharmaceutical, military complex words. They're entrapment words. So this is about getting expanded. Okay, so that's what I have, you know, Patty Bassard. You want a whole thing? There's like 50 videos on just doing blood stuff and blood types. Again, some of the organs are not functioning. So I'm going to do a couple more of this. We're going to get your top oils, your top whatever. You know, I said Vancouver Island. I need to know where my friends are at because I've been through a lot of stuff, or I'll go find the nearest colon hydrotherapist. I'd be in Vancouver. I'd be to the nearest colon hydrotherapist. Make it your best friend or things in there. Again, there's a dormant infection. So what's that virus? Is it that virus attacking the optic nerve too? It's never one thing. It really isn't. And I think it's really important because our vision is getting back on the path. So I've had people blind actually start seeing. Do you know that? I've had clients of mine that were blind actually get their vision back. I've had people with hearing aids actually get them back. Galen Ray and I, who's out by Maple Ridge, he was one of the original skill practitioners, and he dealt with me somewhere out there now. But he left to go with Dr. Len Horowitz. And Galen and I went to Prince George, and we literally had someone paralyzed in a wheelchair get up and walk on me in 20 minutes. I don't question anything. Dr. Richard Bartlett of Matrix Energetics, I was trained with all those guys too. I've had people with my clients with diabetes, they were going to amputate. I'd go into the hospital and stop that just for fun. We'd go take them alkaline water and alkaline stuff and give them some oils or biomats back here and get this on them. They'd walk out. So I don't question stuff when people need to make their shift. We all know the power of the mind through neurolinguistic. And I'm not programming, we're unschooling them. But I just want to see what this is. So the biofilm comes up and the limes comes up for sure. But it's not like major, but it's still there. So how do you get rid of a virus? We detonate them. This literally nukes the crap out of them. This is like putting a bomb to them. They don't like it. It's like a dog whistle. They don't like that frequency. We implode them. So that's actually what we're going to do. Again, digestion. Which part of your digestion system? Do you have heavy metals? Do you have mercury? Do you have to get you into a biological dentist? You know, comes back again. I told you I was psychic. Okay, can I share something with you? You'll love this. I did a whole thing at Project Ascension on decolonizing people. What is a lawyer or legal advisor, barrister, solicitor, or in your case, a judge, to be intestate? You die intestate, probate in the States. What's your testimony? Testament, testes, and the mind. Okay? You need to know what these words mean. And just like in going into a court and stepping into a court, you step into a medical court. And these people, they could be draconian, they could be Anunnaki Nazis running these establishments, and you're putting your life in their hands, which is the wrong thing. And I'm a former nurse. I got 15 years. I was the head of the Sun Union. Okay, and I was the union rep. I was the legal advisor for all the nurses at that hospital. It's entrapment in there too. So a diagnosis means you have no knowledge anymore. Let's give the knowledge back to the people. And so I want to fix that up. Does that make sense, Alfred?
This is so brilliant. I have never before made the connection between dying intestate and intestine, but that is absolutely brilliant. Thank you.
I will share something else. I help different people. I've been with people very high. Again, I've known people in the Illuminati and different things in the councils and the priories and stuff, and the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and stuff. They always keep calling hydrotherapists to decolonize them. You know, they may spirit cook, but at least they try and take shit like that crappy stuff out of their system. One of the things I did learn too is when you step into my court, you're in the international courts. You're in the, as you think, international, right? There are many different nations, and we have extraterrestrial and special things in here. And that's entrapment. If I said to, you know, Chuck and Skull, you da da, Chuck and says Karen, you wouldn't know what I said, do you? Because that's the original language of this land.
You know, that was so fast. I wondered if you could go through that again, maybe a little more slowly.
Chuck and Skull, and I'm saying basically in your Uvitavas, I can mix a few different languages. You know, there's many, it's like Brihan laws, there's many different legalese, but there's only one law.
Yeah.
Okay, and you were taught CJS, which is Corpus Juris Secundum. And as I talked to Larry Levan, who was one of the lawyers, as you know, I used to spend a lot of time decoding and helping him at it, the law stuff, legalese, is that you guys were not taught the first one. He goes, what do you mean there's a, you're the law of the land, you know this. You guys were taught Corpus Juris Secundum, Second World Law. So I'm here to share what it is. Right here. So I just want to share that with you. So there's some lithium and some iodine. Okay. I love sharing law. It's about love. It's, you know, we're trying to speak in a computer language, and this is not my original language. I'm just trying to find a language I can speak with you. Okay. And that's it. So sodium and fluoride. So literally I've got that. I'm going to get your favorite essential oils, your vitamins, whatever. I'm going to do a complete thing, but that would take a whole thing for everyone to go through. Let's just get the fun stuff. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to back you up stuff that they can do and you can do at home. So we've been at it just about an hour. So in about 20 minutes, half an hour, I'm going to wrap up and I'm going to show you the Betty Crocker version. I call it my calm techniques, which is Karen MacDonald. So I'd like you all to be calm with me. And if people want sessions, I do it on Skype. I do it on Facebook. I do it on the phone. I got people that want to come up, the top people out of LA up here. So someone better, you know, be gifting me a really nice place for Alex and I, so I can be able to get out there and get some places here. And thank people like Patrick Smith and Jackie Jensen at Twig and Squirrels on 22nd. So I don't take money, as you know. I don't commerce. You've known me how long? I don't take money. Okay? We do gifting. There's stuff like food. There's time. There's services. There's lots of things. How much does one actually need to thrive? Not very much. It's all about me. You know, after that, it's all about the children. All about that, it's about my friends. I'm looking at all these like essential oils, which I mean, oh my gosh, I got to give you a whole slew of them. Okay, so if you're ready, I just want you to sit back. For the first time, let's just sit back and enjoy. I'm going to go back to and see if there's anything else I can find in your voice or your throat. And I will custom tailor this for you. You know, it could be anything to do with the throat, the speech, anything along that line. See if there's anything else. And I'm just going to send it back and we're just going to have fun. So just like I said, hit the little button. It's called Quick Balance. If you don't know what to do, hit that button. So you and everyone else in the room, everyone in this audience, I forget whatever we had, 50,000 at last count, but who knows what goes on the archives. I'm going to help you for a couple days getting this out to every group I have. Okay, look how simple that was. If I didn't talk and explain everything and have a little chit chat in between, we'd have this done in 10 minutes. So I do 10-minute Facebook things. And Dr. Ariel, we volunteer our time for community, and I call it contribution. That's why you said, are you ready to confirm? I said, no, I'm ready to affirm. Let's affirm the time, and then we can adjourn for a little while. I'm on a journey. We got to have fun. I want you to have fun with this because it is correctable. It really is. There's no reason why you should have to be with the CNIB and stay out of the Canadian jurisdiction, and let's get some more energy and frequency up there. I'd love to see you recover this. In my mind's eye, I see you recovered, and it's not. It's like dancing, maybe coming out of here. We got a great medicine wheel at Wanaskewan. Get rid of the white cane. You know, you got to have some fun out here with Jerry. So we need to have something to look forward to, and I want you to look forward to that. I want you just to find that peaceful spot. So I'm just gonna not say anything for 30 seconds and just let you absorb. Isn't that cool? I'd like you to tell me where you can feel it, Albert. And you gotta remember, I know you're monitoring the chat room. I'm not. One of the few times I'm actually not. But I'd like you to tell me, or people have questions, they're gonna start feeling it empathically. So when I do this, everyone starts feeling it too. They're getting those oils. They're getting their herbs. They're getting those meridians cleared. Even in themselves, even if it's microscopic and yours is large, we're all getting it. See, I can feel it around my knee. Where are you feeling it? Yeah, you too? Left knee too? Yeah. She's going. Yeah? Anywhere else? Yeah. Where are you?
Yeah, I can feel actually a whole paradigm shift in me. You know, it's kind of like a paradigm shift of opening up and feeling empowered now, you know, and really understanding that you can claim your wellness.
Yeah. And that's why it's so important because, I mean, I'm not just making an equal village with, you know, I need, you know, Commander Patty Passard up here too, the chief. You know, she's Patty's the shaman. I don't care what anyone says. But that woman has designed stuff for Twin Spirit, right? And I don't need any cracks even about people like that because there are about 2,000 people, 18 to 2,000 people that have penises and vaginas, you know. I was a neonatal nurse. I saw every like genetic malformation and genetically modified individual you could almost see, you know, in 15 years of nursing. So that does happen. And so these are very special people. Amazing, because you know, their brain power is phenomenal, you know. And again, these are not tranny people. These are people that are actually literally arrive or born with that. So these kind of things are amazing. And I want to tell you something. For someone that was mylabbed or abducted like Patty was at birth, who they took out and ripped out their ovaries, on the MRI about 2 months ago, her ovaries have regrown. We've learned how to regenerate reproductive organs. So this is huge technology. This is what friends of mine like talk about. You know, Randy Kramer, Captain K. This is what they're talking about, the regeneration and the holograph stuff. We're already doing it. This is part of it. And I'm so happy. Ryan, I'm so upset, you know, but like I said, I know there's other agendas going on. Yes, some of these people are getting burned out, but some of them are related to the Pedigate stuff. Okay, and they gotta go. They're flooding the bases, and we have to get rid of these people because they're not people, as you know. We need to have this, and that's why that facility is going to be so important that we start. So if people really want to do, I don't want to say contribution, but tribulation, tribulation, stay with your tribulation, is that they can get a hold of us, and that's because it's got to be a radiation-proof thing. And I mean, we did an amazing thing with you. We know what the radiation is. It's 15,000 in these areas. So we need to get you inner radiance so I can just have those facilities just to be able to take people that are going to be viable, you know? So let's take a look at your aura. I just think it's so cool. We're going to go back. So again, that's what it's going to look like. Genius Insight. And by the way, as you can hear, my girlfriend's puppies. She's been doing rescue stuff here. I've been doing puppies. Okay, so I've done puppies. I've been on horses. We've done camels. We've done birds. I've done boars. People, land, groups. There's no limit to this. Okay, and I'm just going to go back in. Let's take a shift in your aura. So we're going to see what your aura looks like differently. So we looked at it before. So again, it's like knock, knock. Who's there? Let's look at the aura again. I'm just going to hit that button. Just for a second. I'm going to go back. It's going to say begin analysis again. I hit the begin analysis, and we're going to look at the change in your aura. And we're going to see something shift. That's what you're, see, you've already felt it, but we're doing all those different hertz or frequencies, like, you know, heart, 432, 528, whatever. Does that look a little different? I think we cleared some crap off of you. You should have a load off your shoulders, literally. You see that? What did you want to say? You can say it loud.
Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. Okay. And we lost Alfred's voice. So somewhere.
Yeah, it really feels like there's a load off my shoulders.
There definitely is.
It really feels that way.
It is. So I'm gonna,
Like literally there's a load off my shoulders.
yeah. So that really was. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to do another thing for another couple minutes. I'm just going to keep it quiet because now let's talk about solutions. Okay. This is all my fun and dandy stuff. But okay. One of the things I have, it's called a grounding mat. This is from a place, I know you're a distributor as well. Most of us do have them. We've had them. I sleep on this thing. And I always have for just about 15 years. So I get mine also off the Biomat e-store. It's in around Victoria with Christina Van Art, but you're also a distributor. So, you know, you can get a hold of, you know, some of the different people. This is a 0-point grounding mat. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, so it turns all the, it basically turns off the EMF. Okay, so it stops wireless. It's got a 2-foot perimeter that comes off of it that is infrared combined with negative ionic technology. We have things from amethyst in there to black tourmaline. And literally, I use it for my cancer patients and thyroid and getting them off the metal. So literally, this is the kind of stuff, and you'll see me do it, especially with women breast cancer. You're going to see all this kind of stuff showing up here. And the changes are phenomenal. Okay, so we're dealing in the infrared spectrum. And that's an amazing technology. That's what David Wolf talks all about, is earthing and grounding technology. So you can look that up. So that's another amazing thing because it turns the AC, and that's what they got the Nobel Peace Prize for in 1991, was for this technology. So this is NASA. It's like the NASA spacesuit. It has all these different layers in here. Okay, and it's got copper and stuff because you're not grounding and all sorts of things. So I know if you want to get a hold of that, Alfred's got it, or get a hold of me, or Christina's got it. This is the kind of stuff to start getting in and really grounding. So people don't use this enough. You can do knockoff versions and stuff like that too, but I sleep on it. You know, so that's something you might want to, if you just doing it, but spend some more time on it. The other thing I do is I go to the springs. I'm all about spring water because spring water has ormus, it's microscopic, and it's the only thing that the mother makes. Okay, that's why we're all protecting it. The water that you drink comes from my mountains in Cypress Hills, by the way, and elk water, which is why I have it flagged. So whether people like it or not, the Dracos move in, or whichever army thinks they're coming in, it still belongs to us. So I still have, I'm entitled. And the entitlement with the authority comes to the clan mother, not to anyone else. And that's why I'm AB positive. People that are RH negative are de facto, as you know. Okay, so no one's got any titles to the crowns because we dissolved it actually in 2013. That was the end of your calendar, not the Mayan and the Aztec. It was the end of our contract with the Dracos. Okay, so they don't have any authority here. And right now it's a scorched earth policy, which means they are enemies to every tribe and every nation right now. And that's what's really going on. So they can clear all the bases and flood them they need to and rescue the children. I'm all about the children right now. I'm a mother. Never cross a mother there. Bad news. Bad news. Even the Arcturian ships. Don't cross. Okay? And those are with the councils. So we're doing a lot of stuff, and we got a lot of stuff showing up here. It's really great. It's like over our heads every day. Next thing, if you don't know about it, yoni steams. Okay, there are books on this. For men, it is like I said, is it Russian and Putkin, or we call it Putkin in Russia? Putkin's my Putkin these days. Okay, we call it in nursing, it's called a peri steam or a vag steam. For men, we call it an A steam. It's basically a 7 chakra root steam. So if you want to get high, use cannabis from, you got cannabis aromatherapy, by the way. You don't need to get altered states, but we have aromatherapy from cannabis aromatherapy at a place called edensgardens.com. And so these are amazing. Okay, this is the best kept like suppressed technology. And I don't care what anyone laughs at any channel, is I joke not. They've got $2,000 toilet seats you can sit on with every Korean hip, you know, thing. They call it a Korean bath. But basically you're putting aromatherapy in it. And basically the other thing you can do is put your mineral salts and stuff. I think it's amazing. Okay, so I get the people back on that. We got Himalayan, Celtic, sea salt, all sorts of things. Get your Soleil or mineral salts going. It's a hell of a lot cheaper than Oramus and monatomics because it's naturally in the ground in those salts. And you can take all the Himalayan salt you want, all the Celtic salt, put it on your salads and stuff. You ain't gonna absorb it until you put water, and that's called Soleil. And you'll actually see it release. It's an explosion. It's really wild to see it release. So do that with that. So that's why we've got it in there. The other thing I've been making up with my clients, and that's why I was asked to be, like I said, with David Wolf. This is raw cacao, by the way. Okay, it's great. It's white chocolate, a little bit of coconut oil. You can look it up. It's called essential oil aromatherapy suppositories. Okay, I can't eat anything from one end to the other. So I actually put, again, that's white chocolate mixed down. Anyone that knows raw cacao or how to make raw chocolates, that's what I've done. I put frankincense in here. So it goes in and absorbs over like all your sleep. So I actually heal while I sleep on the amethyst mat with the essential oils getting distributed everywhere. Okay. So as a nurse, 100% absorption. Anything you stick through your mouth through herbs and oils and stuff, maybe 5 or 10. And right now with the biofilm, ain't gonna cut it. That biofilm and bioterrain is all coated up with every chemtrail they can think of. So this is actually frequency medicine, and you can enjoy it. So it's not a bad way to go. So you can look that up again, essential oil suppositories. And I actually just make them up into basically a little ice cube tray. You can get it at Dollarama. But remember, Alfred, is I deal with the bands and I stay on the reserves and stuff with a lot of, there's no money there, you know that. They're living in poverty. It's basically, as you talk about corpus juris secundum, right? They're classified below a person and an inhabitant, right? And so this is where everything's been desecrated, and that's why I spend a lot of time. I like going in to help people right on the levels there. So again, none of my stuff, all my clients, even in the system, all their food bills go down, all their medicines go down, because you can take less than $1 of baking soda, or for you, best one we've got is called pH Happy Caps, and I get Happy Caps from Suede Hills near Kamloops. So SuedeHills.com. You can alkalize, I joke not, that litmus paper go from yellow to green to purple in less than 4 or 5 days. And that's what I'd like you to do. So SuedeHills.com is a lot better, but if people can't afford it, they can take 1 to 2 teaspoons mixed with maple syrup or molasses and still do the cancer cure thing, and it'll totally alkalize you. You're just so deficient in those 4 minerals. So I'm not asking you to do anything I haven't done myself. Everything I'm showing you, I have done myself. Okay? And that's one of the simplest things I can do to help you and to help the people around. One of the things I get is we have a place called Bulk Barn. If not, this is amazing. This is a 30-to-1 ratio. That means you get basically for this $50, probably about over $1,000 worth of nutrition. Okay, so if you know about gardening, which I am, you can take basically 30 pounds and dehydrate it into this powder, and it's the most damn delicious thing you've ever had. Seriously, this is to live for. It's got every berry you can think of. You can actually make it just with water, with a smoothie, or warm it up and have a tea. It's like a berry tea. It's got blackberries and all sorts of great things. So I really encourage people to do that because they're deficient. Less is more. And then I add a couple drops of aromatherapy to that. So I'm going to go through my repertoire. One of the things is people know what raindrop is. I've been raindropping. In fact, I do my calm technique. Anyone can get essential oils. I don't care where they are, as long as they're therapeutic. I don't want to discuss companies. I want to talk about quality. And that's what it is. But VitaFX is basically reflexology, and anyone can stick oils on their feet. I think you've got a foot. I've got a foot, right? This is put your left foot in and put your left foot out. So any oil you can get, I don't care what they are. We can all get oils, and they're concentrated, and especially tree. I want you to think about trees. Think to nature. Is that we could put gardens out there. They don't last all year, but the trees do. The trees are tapped into the root system, into the deeper waters, which bring up more minerals. So that's why you see frankincense tree, myrrh tree, lemon tree, lime tree, pine tree, cedarwood. You got tons of cedarwood. That's why, when I said go to essentialoil.com, we got tons of cedarwood up there. That goes with the saxaterpenes, like a terpine or pineal turpentine. Also sesquiterpenes is what's in frankincense that crosses the blood-brain barrier. So all your trees are going to start fixing your eyes. Frankincense, myrrh, pine, cedarwood, birch, spruce are the oils also in helichrysum for your eyes. Okay. Young Living also made one called Envision, but all we have to do is stick it on your feet. If you don't know where it is, it's all one cell, right? I mean, you got a foot, I got a foot. I broke this one 3 times, but whatever. You can do that, right? There's your eye. This little piggy went to whatever. Okay, not hard. Okay, you can put it by the eyes. You can put it on the hands. You can do all your Vitaflux or reflexology you want. But what I do is I get a hand towel, because I find most people, they want us as massage practitioners to do it all for them. I went, no. I got to teach you all self-care. I got enough to do here. I got enough to do with me and Alex to get a place. But get a hot, wet towel. Get some rubber gloves. Get this towel out. Wrap your little foot and put a bag around it. Okay, that you can do, can you not? Simple, not difficult. Okay, we need to get simple solutions that you can do or mimic, or you can talk Jerry into if she's having a great day, or do it to her, you might get it back. There's a methodology to what I'm telling you. This is something for both of you. This is something for everyone, because I know you have a care center out there and you care for people. Okay, so again, very simple. That's a no-brainer, literally. You know, if you really want to know where the brain is, that's up in here. Eyes, ears, nose, whatever. But you're going to cover everything. Okay, what I do as well is that I have people, and I use my aromatherapy in pills. So I get veggie caps. So, and this is endorsed, by the way. I know Young Living only endorses theirs, and I don't want to get caught into labels, because people just don't want to take responsibility. They'll say, well, just do it internally if you're Young Living or doTERRA. But the other guys say, no, we won't endorse it. Health Canada or FDA says that, even though it's therapeutic. Use your own discernment. Okay, that's why I have to discern. I've got like radiation leaking like crap out of Saskatoon in the damn Circle Drive, harboring an underground city here we have to clear out too. So these are oil books, okay? They're online. Put anything you've got, vision, throat, stuttering, stammering, sexual abuse, whatever. Put Young Living oil, or put something, or just put essential oils. I mean, we know whole thing is this comes back to the vaccine, okay? And it doesn't matter if I've talked to Len Horowitz or Mary Toko or Neil Zimmer or whoever I'm talking to online, or Joel Lord out in Vancouver is huge, okay? And Helen Keller, I don't care who we're talking to, is it comes back to the vaccines. A lot of this has been dormant, and it's now becoming active because the pH keeps it, and it keeps replicating. That's your PPAI. Your pandemic or predatory or pathnogenic artificial intelligence only replicates. Like Morgellons and stuff like that, limes only replicate in acidity. So burn them out. We burn them out with the alkaline water. You know, it's just, instead of, don't go as far as, you know, Java bleach at 12, but at 7.4, you'll burn it out. That's why people are taking alkaline water at 8, you know? So these are the books that, you know, you can look up. And again, people need to have references, you know? I'm a raw foodist, not at all. I never like that term raw. It's like almond raw or amen. But it's about, I just came off, basically I did 2 weeks fasting. All I did was liquids. So whether you want to do master cleanser, you want to do that liquid, just do vegetable broths, less is more. That's why it was nothing we did in the hospital. It wasn't surgery. We let you fast for 72 hours, 3 days. NPO, nothing for oil. Your system will kick in. If nothing else, just go to liquids if you can. I just did 2 weeks. And I was like, raw food chefing in this place and vegan and that. There's a lot to be said for that. Anything that's plant-based or living-based will reverse any disease in 30 days. Ask David Wolf, ask Dr. Gabriel Cousins, ask Hippocrates. I was just asked to be on Vancouver Island. You got one of the juiciest things. It's like a 5-6 star place there. It's called Fresh Start Retreat up in, you know, Courtney Comax up there at Oyster Bay. I was asked to be there for a month as one of the top practitioners, but you know, I figured it was more important to be here with my child. But we're all doing the same thing. You don't have to go anywhere. You know, you've got great things in Vancouver too, right? You got Eternal Abundance there. You've got, I've actually trained in Kitsilano, and there's a place called Indigo Rock Cafe. Go do something different, you know. But like I said, part of the education, I was just with the raw food chef out at Living Light Coronary and the project manager that couldn't, you know, put anything together. Of course, they were from Cameco and Chase Manhattan Bank, so what do you expect? But they couldn't read a label. So I never assume people know anything. I just spent like 2 weeks solid, like, and I joke not, 12 hours a day trying to educate. I made the entire menu for the place again. I redid the food, cleaned it out, brought it back to par, and then they couldn't hold it. You know, now I'm having fun playing with, you know, puppies and doing puppy like medicine and holistic vet med with the genius, right? Because I can customize that. So it's still going on you. It's having fun with you. Like, there's no question. We're still playing with you. We'll look at your third or in a minute. Okay, so raw chocolates are a lot to be said. Raw cacao, it's a purple food. It's a great way to get your vision back as raw chocolate. It's not death by chocolate, it's vision, eyesight, because it's a purple food. Highest antioxidant on the planet. Ask David Wolf, we know. A carrot's 210, but this could be 1200. But if I move you to aromatherapy oils like clove oil, this will be 1,000,000. So if you want to pop a few pills, not only of cacao, but in my cacao is actually, you'll see recipes on Project Concentric, because I teach you how to do this in 6 minutes. And I put like aromatherapy in here. So you're getting your food, your medicine, and everyone just gets happy here. You can put frankincense in. It's a great way to take chocolate. You know, put something in there. I've got raw cacao in here. I actually have got frankincense and myrrh. And these are all for oral. This one's by Eden's Gardens, by the way. Another one by you is like, you know, isis.ca out of Nelson. So these are really simple things I wanted to show you. There's something that the Biomat company makes too. It's called a Rejuvena that Christine has it at the Biomat e-store. This is something that might be very cool. Okay, people always thought it was for facials, but it's not. It's a Rejuvena. It has gold and ion therapy up for the eyes. So I can spray you with Ormus water with essential oils, and it will vibrate at a very high, like 20,000 vibrations per second. You can start opening up people's third eyes, and I use it for implant detection, by the way. So it's like a Geiger counter. And that brings me to the thing too. Everyone needs to get Geiger counters, and that's not just off Patty Broussard, but also off me. Soaks is the company, SOEKS, USA.com. There's one called a Quantum Impulse, which gets your radiation and your rads, your DOS meters. The other thing you're going to need is the EMF detector, which is called the Impulse. So Soaks, SOEKS dot whatever. Please get those into place. You're going to need to do it because up here, Health Canada and everyone else, we are not getting radiation levels, neither are anywhere globally. Okay, most of them are taken offline unless you've got military clearance or intelligence to get in for some of them. Not all of them, but some. And if you really want the accurate ones that aren't fudged. So this is another thing that people can do. Soaks, by the way, backwards is chaos. Soak it up, guys. Anyway, so this is something, again, with the Ormus, you can just spray on and vibrate, and then also use a vitamin C serum. So this helps the bride actually, a lot of the chemtrail radiation and higher frequencies. It helps protect for gamma, theta, delta, and that kind of thing. So this might be something to vibrate those essential oils in a little deeper. It also takes some of the biofilm off. Okay, because you're swallowing in biofilm, so it's soaking in. We don't have a full shield up here yet. So that's another thing. And it does actually, like I said, gold light. It's got a red light and blue, so it has infrared into it. They never saw me coming when I just decided to do this. This is great for also reflexology, people that are reflexologists, people that have tumors, fibroids, anything like that. Throat, this would be great to vibrate and maybe get the throat and the stuttering and make sure that everything's opening up and in alignment. The other thing that comes to mind is there's an old Vedic Russian thing, remedy. It's basically a cup of garlic cloves and a cup of lemon juice, organic #9, and a cup of, let's say if you want to use maple syrup, you can bring it to a slow boil if you don't have a Vitamix, and you take this out. It's like a chutney. It's like a great salad dressing, but about a teaspoon a day. That starts opening any clogging, or if people have, it's like nature's angioplasty. You don't have to, it gets high blood pressure, plaque, cholesterol, Lipitor, get rid of all that. We might need to open up the carotids here a little bit more, because if you've been eating cooked food or, you know, wheats and glycosates, or I don't know what the intake's been that you've been doing, or dairy, you know, it's going to be clogged in there. So that's another thing that comes to mind. I want that vision back. I need to open up all the cardiovascular arteries and veins and capillaries and everything just cleaned right out here. So if I want to get up to the throat and the thyroid and get your vision back, we have to really open everything up here again. So the other thing that's amazing, I've had results. This is something actually not far from you, Alfred. It's called BioOxy. Have you heard of that before? Okay, in the States, they call it OxyCleanse at Global Healing Center, or MagOxy. Basically, it's kind of like taking MMS if you don't have that already, but BioOxy, you take a teaspoon of this. It's very tasteless actually. And you take about a teaspoon, it's magnesium. And what you do is you put a teaspoon of this with a teaspoon or so of lemon juice or lime juice, like a citric acid to activate it. It bubbles up and it becomes the magnesium O3. So the oxygen with the biofilm, with people who've got brain fog, memory fog, anything to do in the higher chakras, this is like an instantaneous hit. So all my clients, it looks like when they get up, they're going to take a glass of water. They take this right away. We put a little Soleil in it. And if you want it, put some water. I put a little bit of that super res if we need, and a little bit of maple syrup if you need to make it go down. These also come in pill form. But BioOxy, Oxy powder, this has been the game changer for all my clients. I joke not. Okay. Their brains are like lifting. The brain fog's going away. It's amazing. Like I said, the other version, like I said, look it up in your area. There's even on Amazon. I found it like Mag Cleanse or something. Okay. So that's a huge one. Solmac is another one. Solmac it spent me a year. Health Canada confiscated it. Came in with yellow tape. You thought it'd cross like, you know, the murder scene. Finally, after almost a year, they give it back to me. Okay, Salmaki is that missing mineral that stops Agenda 21. Agenda 21 is your chrome, adrenal. Okay, it's not just the adrenal chrome crap that they're after. We want to be outside their frequency. The Lush, they can't suck off Lush. They can't get the adrenochrome if you're not in their frequency. They can't harvest you. They're only going to harvest people probably below 200 and some or 300 hertz. Cancer's at 46. I need to get you up here. Okay, Solmac, I also found it. I'll give you the link. Everything is on my Facebook. Everything is on my Facebook in my albums. Go to my albums, look at the photos. I have one from India. It's called Nushador. So instead of this $50, $60 can, it took whatever to get through. Nushador comes out of India on eBay for $6. Get the rock crystal. They love you. So it's called Nushador, Nousadar. And I'll send you the links, but you got to know how to stop the Agenda 21. Agenda 21 is the 21st chromosome. So like a self-cleaning oven, your system goes back into self-cleaning. You need this to turn on and open up the third chakra, or that solar. It's an ammonium chloride. Okay, very, very important. Again, all this is on Project Intention. Okay, these are the steamers if you need them professionally. $150, Red Tent Wellness. If not, lift your toilet seat up, put a towel, and steam a little bowl underneath. I've got 3 videos on my Facebook on how to do it. Again, best kept secret. This could become basically a hot plate if you want with a little bowl. What you need to do is steam the herbs and the oil so that it's steaming constantly for 20 minutes, half an hour, not just 5 minutes. Okay, like I said, they got a $3,000 toilet seat if you want to go to Tecum Spa in LA. Of course, apparently not now because Ryan just told us they're burning it out. So let's see what we can do up here. Okay. So that is it. And I joke not. I've got people on like 8 meds. They're off all 8 meds, including antidepressants. People that have been on for 15, 20 years. Take back your power. This is about people doing it. Okay? And even people 3-4 days, I challenge anyone, do it for 3 days and then come talk to me. Litmus paper a must. It's a little roll. These are like $8 to $15, health stores, Amazon. This correlates to your chakras. Do not be acidic down here. You can't get your throat up there. So until you pass when you come into my courtroom, you know what I give you? Litmus paper. You go to any one of my bathrooms and my girlfriends, they all have to have litmus paper. Every day we're checking. So I give them happy caps. And these happy caps, I joke not, Alfred. They make you happy. They get rid of the negativity, the acidity, the parasites, whatever you want. SuedeHeals.com. Okay? So what I do with my friends, because I have friends, like I said, they're not clients. Everyone that has had it, I give them at least 20 to 30 to get them through the first week. Because they need 4 to 6 pills. And you might need it for a couple months. You might need it for a year. I don't know how badly the damage is. But that's my gift to all of them. You can open them up if you don't swallow, or I put them into dog water, or I put them into the children. I hide it in Alex's chocolate or his smoothie. Okay? Very, very important. That's the fastest thing I've ever seen move in my life. And it's much more fun than, if you don't want to do baking soda, but this is the next best thing. Do call Cindy, SuedeHeals.com. Okay, she sends them anywhere. And again, alfalfa stevia based and her proprietary, you know, minerals in there. And again, that's what we're doing. Magnesium, like I said, is so important. People want to do everything outside, you know. They want to put like copper bands on them when they think they have arthritis, you know. Inside, liver, gallbladder flush. Get those organs flushed out for less than like $1. You can do your own, get rid of your gallstones. You can get rid of cancer tumors. Do 4 or 5 of these in 2 weeks, like every couple days if you want. And all I do is I take this Epsom salt and I stick it into pills. So nothing in my planet tastes bad, but magnesium is the biggest cause of depression and why the digestive system. And again, gestation genes, you've died to your genes. You've died to gestation. Okay? Legal terminology again. Okay? I learned how to speak male and female. I just have my own language, but we'll bring it back. Okay. Other things too. In our areas, we've got something called Harmonic Arts on VancouverIsland.ca by Dr. Terry Willard's boy Yarrow. The other one that's amazing out of Nelson is something called Organic Matters. Again, Google what's in your area. Again, don't pay store prices. Learn to garden. A lot of this is actually hydroponically done, and I'm a big one of hydroponics and, you know, doing fiber optics. You know, we don't really need that kind of stuff. And again, I'm going to show you how to make some of these yoni pearls really quick here, or pumpkin pearls. If you're female, they can go in the vagina for 3 days. And when they had illnesses, virus, bacteria, cancer, breast tumors, hormones, anything, the women would stick these little, again, you're going to make a little tea bag, basically a tampon, a herbal tea bag, and you put it in, and they would do it for a month, 2 months, or 3 months, and just pull the new tampon out every, like 3 days. So it stays in for 72 hours. And so it didn't matter, candida, yeast, fungus, cancer, whatever. They would never do that. They always put these in. This is the best kept suppressed technology. For a male, in your case, I make smaller ones, and we just grease them up with coconut oil and just let them sit, kind of like an anal tampon, because you're absorbing like a suppository 24. So you just pull it out between bowel movements. So that's another thing. Again, most people, this is known technology. This is practiced in the very top course of all the top wellness centers. And if you don't know about it, the thing is, why don't you know about it? Okay, all Googleable. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. I do, again, face reading, iridology, so that stuff too. If I wanted to get a little closer view, if you want to take some pictures and send them to me, I'll get the iridology and the face reading, or like Terry Bell, show tie. I had all my staff trained in it. And this, again, like I said, was the Salmac, okay? This isn't Coke, but who needs Coke when you have Salmac? Again, that mineral is very, very important to get back in your system. So again, it could be taken in pills. Anything you don't like, pop a pill up. And, you know, I was talking about the aromatherapy pills. I don't know why people are so scared. They will take anything off the shelves. They will stick anything. Your mouth is dirtier than your butt. That's why a lot of people do urine therapy too, but that's another story. All you have to do is get a veggie cap like this. You could put anything. I could put my frankincense and myrrh in. I could put my cedarwood. If you've got a sensitive stomach, you could put it in with a few other things. Again, make capsules. A lot of people that are ill, or in your case, they need to get things cleared out, could be taking anywhere from 3 to 6 caps a day, you know? So that's not very hard to pop and just take. You don't want to smell like, you know, 1 drop of lemon is like you taking 10 lemons, okay? There's a lot to be said. I want to talk about scriptures, and I won't get into the Anunnaki Bible and the Sir Francis Bacon stuff, but there's a lot to be said for wisdom that's been carried before the pyramids from the Stonehenges. And that's what we carry as indigenous people, which is indigo. I mean, it's my crown and my indigo still up here. So we're getting some of that re-lifted off. So one of the other things too, I'm big in with David Wolf doing NutriBullets, big in the fasting. Like I said, I just came 2 weeks off of fast. Okay, it's no big deal. If you can't read a label, you need to look at it. There it is. Can you see that? It's clearly marked. Okay, wild and foraging is the creator's food. It's like, do not put anything in between the creator and myself. Second golden rule, do unto others. 9 is still fine. The seed is still okay. Anything below that, you're going to be dropping to those chakras. You know, it's almost like chakras. It really is. So those are some of the things that are very, very key. I cannot stress. This is my first aid kit. Someone saw me on Kijiji. I was putting stuff out. That's my doctoring kit right there. Okay, and that's salad to me. That's what feeds your soul. And I joke not, Alfred, you could take a little bit of baking soda, a little bit of Himalayan salt, a little bit of super reds, take that bullet every day, a little bit of Salmac, and the oil. Less than that, you can reverse any disease in 30 days. Okay, less than what? $1, $2 in terminology. We all have this kind of stuff usually stored somewhere in the kitchen. They just don't know how to do it. And that's why it's really important to do that. And I have great stuff in there. I actually have chocolate and cacao essential oil. Most people have never ever heard of that, but this is a great way to take chocolate, let me tell you. You should see it. I've got people used to fly in for my massages and aromatherapy and Beyond Raindrop. Okay, great way to have fun. We got to be having fun. You know, people can only get you and take you down and take your vision away. But there's a thing. If you take away someone's hope, well, crap. Why listen to this crap? You and I have been on like radio shows and TV shows. You know, that's the whole thing. We talked till we were blue in our faces, right? Let's have fun, you know. And that's why I see a vision. I see a vision way beyond this. I was talking to architects in Saskatoon. They think if they put like, you know, Gary Marvin, they're trying to steal our land out here. They want to put Riverbend Trust, take 90 women's land things away, which is actually our land at Wanaskewa next to Cathedral Bluffs, because I know where the tribal grounds and the burial sites are. They're digging in one area, but they want to do that and cut it up and make it into with a solar panel. I said, you have no clue, and don't piss us off. Do not be creating or building that. So we need to have things preserved, but we're going to have to go up north. So I really want to encourage people to look at that. I'd love to do a thing with Patty and get that, and maybe another one with Ryan and Ariel, but you got me today. The other thing I want to do, let's see, what else do I have in my little great bag here? I'm going to talk just a little bit about the genius here too. Okay. And I joke not. These kind of machines, like I said, they're all used all over the place. This is the Russian versions. I mean, why have this kind of like expensive technology when I can have it mobile and go anywhere I want? I could be sitting there in the elevator or something and beaming out to everyone around us. You know, I got Samsungs. The other thing I'm going to advise is that you can take a pair of headphones. Okay, we got plates, like those power plates you all heard about. Let's power up, and I'm going to put the frequencies. So I can make my own remedies. So what I like to do is actually make your remedies, put it into salt. In fact, when you go back, what you could do is actually take the headphones, put some water and some Himalayan salt crystals between the two headphones, and you're going to put the frequencies of our entire session into there without a $200-300 power plate. Okay, you could do headphones and do the same thing. So I have all these toys and bells and whistles, but I also know how you can do it with a pair of headphones and just stick a glass of water with some Himalayan salt water, play those frequencies back for the next couple days. You know, we'll end the session with just playing it, and you can like program, everyone can program frequency into their water. And I love to do it with Himalayan and Celtic sea water and black salt, right? Because you're programming the crystals. Then it goes into the water. Then you're doing something. So there's all sorts of power plates we can get with us. And that's what I'm saying. People don't realize the extent of what we can do and have fun with this kind of stuff. So if people want the headphones and stuff like that, you know, and the wristbands, you can be attached to these machines, but you don't have to be. You felt it. I mean, between Vancouver or North Van or whatever, and me sitting over here. The other thing, like I said, I really encourage people to do is to get, you know, get the colon hydrotherapy. I cannot emphasize it. People can't be anal enough. You can get an enema bag for $5, $10, do it yourself enema. Even Marcus Rothkranz does it. David Wolf does it. We all do it. It's like giving yourself a bum Venus, an IV. But it's not about putting crap, taking all your crap out. It's about putting stuff in. If you put the right material in, you don't have to fight with the whole system, because it's buggered up right now. So if we just go that way, and let's see what else I got in here. I joke not. I have to come to my girlfriend's with like 4 suitcases, and this is what I have to save her life again. This is aluminum mesh. You can do a shield. Actually, I'm teaching all the electrical guys here, and we thank Pee-wee and Lloyd Etche. Okay, less than $4, they made a smart shield. Okay, you have to look at that thing. I was with Dr. Ross Anderson he's amazing, out of Kelowna. Okay, naturopath doctor, revamping all the live blood cell things. But it's all about those smart meters. You got to get them off. People have to take, and the women have to phone, make the phone call, and take their power back. People have to learn to become empowered. That means don't let them loose suck off you. That's what that smart meter is doing. It's harvesting your soul thing. I hear them at night. I hear those planes. I feel them. Okay? You got to remember, all those things were direct targeted weapons. These cannot be on. This slows it down. Make the phone call and get back the old analog. You know? You don't have the wind and solar. And by the way, I have the plans for the free energy machines. So if you'd like those, or anyone in the audience would like them, Patty Broussard gave them to me. So there's a free magnetic energy motor, which is up and running and viable. And I have all the plans, so I'll send them to you. So anyone that would like to do that, beyond wind, solar, microhydro, the free energy magnetic motors are very easy that you can get at any local store and put together. So Patty gave me the plans for that. Okay? So we have that. Besides Trump doing his executive order and releasing the last 2,000 free energy patents, we also have stuff too. And a lot of the ones that Patty actually released 4 years ago, they're now actually in production, by the way. I've seen 4 huge rooms full of the productions that Patty did. So it's on its way. So this is some of the very neat things. But like you could say, if you can just imagine you got your little smart meter inside here, just make sure that you cover it not only around it, but it has to go from the outside inside the house too, which I don't like that word, but as most people think. But in your domain or your lodge, you've got to make sure you've got, because it's going 360 degrees. And there's a great thing about take back your power and just put truth meters or truth about smart meters BC. You'll get one of the best dissertations, like Barry Tower stuff. It's great. But Dr. Ross Anderson is amazing too. And that's why I hang out with Patty. Patty was the NBC officer for the Army, which means nuclear, ballistics, weapons, and communications. So very, very important. You've got to start here. They're sneaking them anywhere. People that thought they were on the opt-out program, seriously, they've got them on their places here. You know, and we don't want to see that stuff happen. You know, you've got to have some sort of shielding, at least temporarily. So that's huge. What else do I have in my little exciting bag here? You know, I think it's really for you to find things that you can make doable. Okay? No one's responsible for the condition. And I know too, I've been out there. So what hit you compared to someone else? Not just targeting and stuff, but how can we, you know, take our power back? And all this stuff is bombarding all of us, right? So we need to be able to go in and put your shields up from the inside. I need to clean you from the inside. And that is going to be that colon thing, really important. If I could get, you know, in 4, 5, 6 hours sessions, literally with a colon hydrotherapist, and I put all sorts of things. I put MMS, I put peroxide in, I put frankincense right in there. So you would be amazed. I could put peppermint in and you'll taste it in 3 minutes if you're cleaned out. Okay? So when I put, like, you know, peppermint or frankincense on my big toe, I taste it. That's clean. When I put it in my colonic or enema water, I taste it. I don't have to take it here. So it's above, so on and below. And that's actually what Anastasia was talking about. That's that divine ray. That's being enlightened or being a Solarian, which I am. Or as people think, Breatharian too. So I vacillate back and forth a little bit that way, you know. But it's really kind of fun. So, I mean, those are some recipes, you know, Nouveau Raw. I really encourage people to look at these stuff, you know, One Green Planet, things like that. Put in raw vegan. You want to have a steak. I made a mock steak supper here the other day and soups. Put raw vegan and then put your shepherd's pie, raw vegan lasagna, raw vegan pizza. Find out how to do it healthy that our mothers did before they were interfered with these weapons of mass destruction, including microwaves. So, I didn't think what else I got to do. You didn't know I was going to bring everything but the kitchen sink, did you? I said I could go talk to my friend. We got to get it straightened out, Mary Rose there. Again, these are stuff you can get Canadian Tire, Michael's, and my favorite one is at a dollar store. So I don't care what range you think you're at. You can all get these little pop things, and that's actually how I put the chocolates in here, or I did those suppositories. You make the chocolate, pop it out. You can either eat it or, you know, it's thumb candy, literally. And again, that's why they were doing some of this with cannabis. But the problem being is they're using all the CBD and stuff, and they're not taking care of what the problem is, the acidity. Almost everyone that goes onto these have got digestive. They either have pelvic inflammatory, there's sexually transmitted diseases, irritable bowel, leaky gut. No one would listen to us when I said parasites years ago. So we have a new buzzword. It's called SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth, or large intestine bacterial overgrowth. Everyone wants to fix that. I don't know what it is. Giving them an acronym, they'll fix anything. So that's what I'd like you to start there. Start in that root thing. And then one of the other things as well is getting power foods. Power foods like hemp seed. You know, you've got Conscious Planet Charles Holmes there. If you don't crack into his place into like, you know, Burnaby, I probably will. Between Charles Holmes and Samantha Holmes and the whole entire Holmes gang there, they've got lots of stuff for you. There's Raw Food Vegan. He's the largest hemp grower between Winnipeg and you. And that man's got like a whole secret repertoire of stuff. So he's got very interesting flags when you walk in his door too. So let me just tell you. We didn't all hang out, you know. That was like the Winston Trump days. That's a long time ago. But anyway, he knows all the stuff too and passed the 1099 OIDs. He got lots of stuff, but they got toys out there. That's a great place to find toys. And he's got stuff like, you know, fulvic acid. He'll have all the suppliers. And like Patrick Flanagan, Dr. Flanagan and stuff, all the neuro stuff with the eyes. We might want to do some fun stuff like that. You can get people that do cold laser. But he's got some, I just thought of it. Charles has got goggles. He's got some like, you know, Dr. Joe Mercola stuff too, and him and Aaron. So they might have some toys in there too. I'm all about the toys some days. Okay, so that's basically, you know, kind of what I'm thinking, like, you know, on the food end and get that done. Like I said, I spend less time in the kitchen. The girls all laughed. I made chocolates, I made smoothies, I made desserts, I made burgers out of the same thing. If you don't know how to run a NutriBullet, this is a no cooker. This is great. And I can do everything. I fed all the people at Lillooet at Protecting the Sacred, 200 Indigenous, largest intertribals, you know, gathering there with Chief Daryl Bob and like Red Jacket was out there. So I made all those balls for them. Let me grind them up soft. And again, make some very nutritious energy balls and stuff. I think that's one of the best things we can be doing, you know, in there, is get really high dense food. And what I do is I use those meal replacements for everything. You know, I want to see actually again, how these are things that you can put together that you can put into your life. This is what functions for us. This gets everyone out of trouble in a month or two. Even if you just do part of it, you're going to make success. You know, we can have all the toys we want, but this is to carry us through till we get that enclave or, you know, my new sacred kingdom in there or something. You know, I'm the only one that's doing well out here. I came back and looked at all my staff and friends and everything else. Cancer this, cancer that, brain fog, everything else. So I said, let's go back to basics. Let's go back. So I go get that spring water from Petrofka. I go every 2 weeks to haul my water. Best thing I do to get out of the grid is Saskatoon. I go back to where my Baba's got water. You know, I feed from that spring that feeds from the mother, that feeds from the mountains, the underground aquifers, because it's the only thing that's radiation proof right now. You know, and you don't need to boil it at 212, you know. Water is water. Keep everything. Your food has got water. So if you don't have the water content or the hydrogen, which burns out at, you know, 115 degrees, 118 no enzymes, you're not going to get any power up here. You know, we can do some amazing stuff too. I mean, when I'm doing this too, it's long distance. It's beyond Reiki. It's beyond quantum touch. It's beyond theta waves. It's beyond all of that. You know, I see you in a perfected state. And it hurts me that I can't be there to give you a hug or to you and Jerry, because that's what friends do. And we have forgotten the contact and the touch that we have. And I'm hoping that goes out to the whole viewing audience. This is about friends helping friends, and there's no commerce and there's no money involved. Friends don't charge friends. And we need to go back to learning how to do this in unity, you know, and that's, what do you want to say, the secret combination? I could play all the word games in there. This is still about coming back and what we can do to help people. So I'm going to go back in. I hope you've taken this in. I really want to get with Ariel and Ryan on 2 separate sessions. You know, I don't need a whole wall of credentials. I don't want the credentials. I don't need the diploma. I don't need my honorary stuff that I've been gifted from the naturopaths and all the doctors. You know, those are my colleagues. It's about walking your talk. And that's the whole difference thing. I don't want any of that. I don't contract with anyone, as you know. So that's one of the things here. So we're going to go back. I'm going to do another quick little thing. I'm just going to hit the play button again. I can't wait because I've got your email. I'm going to send this to you. I got to wait and see what Jerry thinks. She's going to get it. She gets a new man every time you come back. Should do Jerry. Because you know what? This isn't just you. It's Jerry. So I'm going to extend this. Let's go one beyond. Let's get Jerry. We need to get the people in there. What can we do to motivate people? I'm going to give you people like Charles Holmes. I'm going to give you people like Samantha Holmes that does the raw cacao ceremonies that can help you and Jerry and know these things about the steaming. They already practice this, you know?
Well, I can tell you, Jerry just texted me, and she just crossed the border from Oregon into California. So talking about the weather warfare going on, we can send some energy to Jerry as she enters the weather warfare zone down there.
Yeah, it's going to get, you know, fast and furious, right? Because, you know, we got friends all over, right, stationed and deployed in different areas too. So, I mean, that's one of the things that we need to look at, you know. This will be one of the safer zones. Like I said, they need to clear. That's a clearing place. And they're clearing as Patty started flooding in the Omega basis and the other basis, and not just Patty, all the forces are involved. This is an international that involves millions of people in the veterans and forces and stuff. And so as they flood those bases, everyone's coming up this way. It's like a candida infection. They're down here in this chakra and they're moving all the way up, you know? And so there's another picture of you, okay? Seeing more clearing coming. Look at that. And just watch, look at the energy, the reconnection back. Because we're talking about greens and stuff. Like, as Kermie said, it's not easy being green. You know? How does that look to you? Look at the difference just within that hour and a half, Alfred. That's amazing. There's more and more lifting coming off. So I think, you know, like I said, it doesn't take me long. What it takes me is time to educate people. And about the only other thing I can think of, I do have one. Amazing what goes into my bag. I'm actually going to be doing people, like, you know, doctors used to do actually, like, you know, house calls. So I'm going to do Doman calls. I'm going to re-empower people. But I need to have a spot here. I need nothing, I should say, but I got to get a spot here. So seriously, if anyone's got contacts in Saskatoon, Alex and I sure could use a spot out of that. Get him out of the Draco Illuminati Jesuit barrister from hell that got in and infiltrated you guys. Bad enough with the, you know, that's it. I said that's the second quack that I want off this planet. That's not a law office. That's a disgusting thing. Anyway, one of the things in here too. So yeah, unbleached cheesecloth, guys. Okay. And I don't care if you got the cheesecloth that they made. I was teaching them how to make, like, you know, out of sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds and almond, like the best cheese ever. And it tastes like aged cheese. That's another subject. We could do a whole uncooking show. But what we have to do is just basically get the cheesecloth. You can get different herbs, mugwort, motherwort, calendula, rose, oregano, cannabis. I don't, doesn't really matter to me. Okay. You can look up. It's not like, you know, you're doing that. Get what's along you. You can put dandelion leaves. I don't care. Orange peels, anything. You put a little bit of this in here. You can see whatever. It's quite nice. Got some roses in there and that kind of stuff. You could put cedarwood, anything, really. You could put your Italian spices in there, you know, with rosemary, sage, and whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay? And you just bring it together like a little ball. And we twist it. It's like twisting by the pool. And he's not a ghost. So anyway, all I do is and again, it could be any size that you want. And I joke not, Alfred. Do you know, for these yoni pearls and vag detox pearls, they want like $10, $15. I'm like, what? That's a tea bag. It's like insane. And so basically I just get some hemp or bamboo string and just seriously tie it up. And you can leave it on or cut it off, you know, if you don't want it to look like a little ghost or something. And it just gets greased up with coconut oil and puts either in the vagina or into the rectum. Just make size. And I joke not right now. This whole thing about my labs and abductions, and I could talk about direct energy weapons and, you know, my friends getting like thinking they're having dreams and hang out with Obama here at night. I'm like, in the evening, this is getting a little freaky. I'm having dreams too since I moved into here. There's some sort of portal going in and out here on the ley line, you know. And I said, that's it. So I was the first one. I took aluminum foil when she went out December 31st. I foiled up everything, you know, weird stuff. Because they do. There's psychic attacks, you know. This kind of stuff gets your root chakra back, you know. And most of the women that have been my lab, and when I was up at Atakakoop at the Indian Reserve, I bet you 30 people I talked to, 25 of them were abducted or had experiencers or contactees. Okay, best place to go find is if you want to go to Takakoop, north of Saskatoon, 2 hours. That's the best reserve to go find if you want to find out who's getting abducted for loose in my lab. But these type of things make a difference. What we can do is we can just insert them. And people that have been raped, or my lab, they don't want to go to the bathroom. There's also a fear factor there. There's also a lot of women that, because of having children, not being bound up, not doing these steams properly, is that probably 60% of my clients also have diastasis recti, which could be a guy as well, the abdominal split, but they're all becoming incontinent. I got 20 and 30-year-old women incontinent here. And that kind of stuff, prolapsing and stuff. Okay, a lot of people don't realize that. They can be prolapse and just dribbling, but they're being misdiagnosed. It wasn't until I did the colon hydrotherapy that I find either rectal or vaginal prolapses. A lot of guys have got that little pot belly, you know, that extra 10, 15 pounds that feels solid. If that's something that's in there, that's the impaction. So you still poop every day. You can poop twice a day. It doesn't matter. It's what's being the slime left in the biofilm from the chemtrails. Okay. So this is another way to attack that. And those people that, you know, women, especially if they're incontinent, they can make this a little bit bigger and it sits inside the vagina and helps support the walls, because we know surgery doesn't do it. But this is something that is huge and people don't talk about, and they need to. They really need to, you know, address these issues because it's a core root chakra. And when we lose our root chakra, like in the governing in the conception vessels, that's the opening or the stargate. That's the gateway to heaven. You know, and people don't realize that the penis, like the vagina, has got reflexology points. It's not just the G-spot, but okay, get into it. That's another thing. But what we have is reflexology. That whole even vagina has got different things. It's a sacred temple in there. And women have got to come back to, and men, respecting the blood types. Rh positive, not sleeping with Rh negative. Like, you know, at one point you could even get married out of state or in state, you know, into the 50s and 60s till you did blood stuff. We need to go back to knowing what that is. And we need to get people, if they can't get it, they can go to Amazon and get an Eldon card, ELDON. You know, we've also got finding out who you are, ancestry. Who begat so-and-so? Who's your mother, mother, mother? You know, everyone says, oh, we're brothers, or we're all, you know, off a different mother. But let's face it, who's the mother? Tribal people were initially Rh positive. It was a protected Gaia put in. Okay? So you can get a mitochondrial DNA saliva test, ancestry dot whatever, DNA 23, I don't really care. People need to know the DNA. I mean, it's terrible when the Skynet and the dark net and the military net and everyone's nets and to Pine Gap to whoever, everyone's got more information on you than you have. You know, I can trace my, you know, ancestry and lineage. I had to. I'll carry flags for a reason. Okay? Those DNA flags, you know, just like, you know, Jade Helm, I can present my arms. I've got a Lucid coat of arms. I've got a McDonald coat of arms. I've got a Zacha coat of arms that go back. Those colors are our colors. Those are the bloodlines. Those are the 13 nations. You know, that's why you couldn't even get married. You have to learn to court. They date. They just whatever. But that was what the genocide was about. That's what the residential schools is about. You know, that's why it was so important. I went to Kamloops and put in for that arrest warrant with Staff Sergeant Mike Savage, Tatanka, in Kamloops at the RCMP station, and Deshaun Buckley, my cousin, who you know is one of the top lawyers there. Deshaun Buckley with the Natural Health Protection is my second cousin. Okay, so there's a lot of us that are doing what we can. They were the first ones to get those, you know, copies in there too, okay, for the arrest warrants, because they are here as illegal aliens, literally on this planet, violating theirs. And there's no treaty there with them. I have no covenant. I have no treaty. I don't have anything with them since 2013. So that's the end of the line. And there's nothing further to say, you know, like you said, we need to get rid of that DNA that's been inserted. And sometimes if people have been sleeping around or through, that's why they want it to rape or, you know, do the pedicate with the children to get the DNA. It's like the first night's right? You know, they just need you in. They think the women are chattel and property rights, and that's not the way it's going to go anymore. You know, no birth certificates and doing that kind of stuff and dissolving the IMF funds. They're already done. They're dissolved. It's on its way. So those guys are now under the orders and under the commands to put that together. And that's going to be the most exciting times for us. This is like Age of Aquarius. I tell you, let that water flow. Those dams are going to have to come apart, everything. Just like the way it was in the beginning, it's going to be again. And the lineup's going to be really, really very exciting, you know? And we have to live in the moment. I'm so excited to spend the afternoon, you know? I was like, oh no, we have to get rescheduled and adjourned. And you know, it's great because we got to talk. Well, Ryan was in here, but then I got to focus just on you and share a little bit of what I have learned and how I care for people. You know, people think, they're like, why aren't you being put up? I said, they're trying to kill me. I'm the last one other than Allie of my lineage. They've been after us for a long time. You know, I could go up to the tacky coop and talk to the Jewy church, right? And they're sending frickin' drones like 20 feet away with me with direct energy weapons. I know what it's like. I know the deception of I don't know more and the Kevin Annette stuff, and I listen to all that stuff with the grain of salt, you know. But what only matters is you and I right now, and the people that are participating in the feeling, you know. It'd be great if you were here. I've got nothing better to say. If I had a place, get me a place, find me another place to go do hands-on. But this is great because I also don't like in people stuff too. They're smoking, they're drinking. Are they ready for this? You know, I was so excited just to get a hold of my cousin, reacquaint with her. And, you know, we got Manitou, which was one of the best lakes on the planet. Seriously, it was like an hour away. You float in it. It's called Manitou for a reason. It's got the creator's original all salts here, above all the potash mines they're trying to frack out. But, you know, we have stuff here. I got the second largest medicine wheel. Why do people think this Stonehenge was put here? Because it was one of the highest. It was the wheel of peace for the whole planet here. We've got energy here like you wouldn't believe. Snow, I'm not so excited about right now, the geoengineering. But, you know, we got people with warm hearts. And north of here, about 3 hours away, where I want to do our sites, is by Waskasiu. And you've got, like, your Dene is like your Denison and stuff. It's like the Russians. Like, seriously, this is Bear Clan territory. You know, what's Bear? Noah's Ark, Arcturian, Lyran, you know? All came through this way. You got to remember what the planet looked like. You know, we got new continents coming up. Forget the Mandela thing. I mean, I see things with Patty on the International Space Station people have never seen. I've spent 5 years up there, like, co-piloting. It's like being a cosmonaut with her, you know, out to Latakia, you know. But this is what it's about, is getting grounded. You know, if we can share the water, you know, and go to findaspring.com, you know. I learned a lot of stuff, you know, being with that. And I take the most exciting stuff I can from the people. You know, if stuff is going to come down, it's not going to affect me one iota. I can go forage. I know where the spring water is. There's, you know, if I turn back here, you can see it on the hallway there. There's all those bottles. I went out to the Petrovka spring there, you know. I don't care. I got water, you know. I got seeds here. I can sprout. I can do chickpeas. I can do whatever, you know. We got tree stuff here. You know, I can take hemp seeds, all these things that make you hemp burgers with mushrooms. Everyone thought it was like, oh my gosh, we got the best hemp burgers, mushrooms, portobello things you've ever had. It's about having fun. And those are some of the things that we offer to people. So if they want to make a shift, you know, you're going to make some shift. And I know, you know, the way most people are, they're on the Canadian, you know, diet, sad diet, standard American, you know, that's not how to live. You know, I stay away from the cancer clinic and stuff. You know, they're loosh harvesting everywhere. That's what those planes are for. They're under 200 hertz. That's like, you know, your ores are going to be in those, you know, oranges, grays, yellow, maki, you know, even the greens and stuff. Until we get enough indigo up here, opening all the way up. And we've just lifted a bunch off. So that's what I'm going to encourage people is to really, like, is to get that genius. I gave you that link for a reason. All you need is an iPad. You can do everything I can do and more. You know, and I think that's the key, is that we're doing it for ourselves. I'm just sharing what I'm, you know, has been useful for me and a lot of people, you know. So I know if there's anything else you have for questions or, you know, I wanted to cover these things. I think it's so important, you know, even if they don't know, you know, just to lift the damn toilet seat up. The best thing I can tell you is those steams. I've never seen anything more exciting than this in the steams. And I put raw chocolate in here. I put aromatherapy in here. I put everything. You need to chelate something out? Put some zeolite or bentonite. Put some activated charcoal. Put some diatomaceous earth. I mean, go outside and dig some dirt. You know, it's really about getting back to the grounding, to the earthing, or to, you know, the guiding, whatever. But it's really about getting back to what our mothers did. Going back 7 generations, I'll go back way more. You know, life before things were bastardized. I mean, in this area here, they were actually putting fluoride. And do you know they want to shut the waters off? Because guess what? This is the only water treatment system in Canada that is under the threat of terrorists. Did you know that? They're going to shut all the waters and all the roads now so that they can totally like Nazi lock off our water systems here so they can put more than fluoride into these people here in Saskatoon. And with the CERN ring underneath, like what happened in Geneva, nah, not while my children are in this. I got to get them all out of these prisoner war camps here. I'm going to turn them into eco centers. You know?
This is so totally awesome. How can people who want to stay in touch with you and who want to get in touch with you to follow through, how can they do that?
Oh, let's see. Best way to get in touch with me, just reach out and touch someone. KlanMother13. I do actually answer emails. KlanMother13@gmail. Does it. I have got Facebooks, and they literally, I don't know why everyone else is getting really censored. Once in a while I'll get something, but for the most part, I think they love me. So I can send an email and they put something on Facebook just to let me know they're in touch with me. But Karen MacDonald, Karen Ann MacDonald, and there's another. You'll see a picture of me with, you know, the genius. You'll see a picture of me in front of the TV. I mean, I got lots of pictures. We'll see a picture of me with Dave Wolf. I don't know. There's at least 3, 4 Karen MacDonalds, you know. And like I say, that's the best way. I've got some people that actually, very people that were Silicon Valley that were part of the construction thing, and John Teniaka and stuff. And those people actually want to come up here to meet with me. But I require really people that can also assist in this area. And I, with all due respect, I really require a place for myself and Alex, because he's feeling like you are. He's been hit with direct energy weapons. He's been raped in that Illuminati Jesuit Draco place from hell. You know, these were the people attached to those pedo gates that need to go down. And, you know, I really require them out of there. The mind control is phenomenal. And so that's as a mother, that's is a safe place, peaceful place where Alex and I can nurse them one-on-one. And then I can community contribute and put those colonic machines into some other place. It needs to be provided and gifted for. You know, and like, you know, even with community, I do barter too, as people think, but it's community, it's sharing, you know, so that's some of the top ways to get a hold of me. And if there's people that can assist with that, that's great. Like I said, I do sessions all the time. It's done on Skype. My Skype is called Karen Mac, but very simple. It's not difficult to get a hold of me, you know. And if anything else, right, Alfred, I'm sure you're happy to forward stuff too. If you know, you just can't find that, you can look at Project Incension, INCN, on every one of the 50 videos, or there's usually a link somewhere. I'll go back on the comments and stuff. So a lot of the stuff, when you're done, I'm going to go back and if everyone go looks for my comments, because I'm going to put a whole thing. I'll be putting the biomat, I'll be putting your hemp, I'll be putting your recipes. And my albums are phenomenal. Just go there. Everything we talked about is linked with a direct, you know, the books, the whatever I can do to help. That's what we're here to do. And we can do another follow-up session. And then what I'll do is I'll get some stuff from you off Jerry, because it's just everyone in there. It's not just your issue. It's, you know, it's
great. Yeah, and I'd also like to do a follow-up session with you and Patty on some of the other issues that you talked about.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you had wanted to raise today that you didn't have an opportunity to talk about?
Oh, it'll probably come to me in my sleep with a dream, and I'll be sitting there going, "Oh yeah, right, Alfred." I want to raise actually the peace flag. You know, we got to show a few things, but yeah, we've covered a lot. I'd like to just, you know, as friends, like, you know, keep in touch and stuff like that. If there's something I can do for people, I don't care what the disease is. I really don't. You know, and I cannot stress enough that going back to mom's womb, what did we raise you guys in? Where did we create you? I said to Alex, I created you. We created you. With water and salt. It'll always come back to that. People have no power because they're dehydrated. Hydration is the hydrogen. Being hydrogen, you know? So it's just the constellation and the astrotheology thing of it. It's fun to play, word stuff, and I enjoy that. I really do. But how can we get it so exciting? Anything else you can suggest that you would like to, or have any questions in closing here before we adjourn?
Well, this is such a, to me, this is such a groundbreaking program. And I'll tell you why. Because in the 1990s,
right,
although most of my career had been in government, having to do with law, politics, international exopolitics, etc., I went back and became an administrator of a community health center in the lower Rio Grande Valley, overseeing 20 physicians, 120 nurses, a number of dentists, 90,000 patient encounters a year. And so when you said you had been a nurse, it suddenly all of that activity clicked in for me, that allopathic world. And in a way that, and I went, wow. And I even went and got a certificate from the Harvard School of Public Health on top of it. So, so I went, oh, and it all leads back to petroleum, the Rockefellers, and the Rothschilds. That's what allopathic medicine is.
Yeah, Zoroast, even Benjamin Fulford, when I went on my little journey, right? I'm out there.
Yeah.
And you've probably never seen it because I was connecting, Walsh and the RCMP and the whole thing in Sitting Bull because it was right on my land thing, right?
Yeah.
I traced Walsh was actually right by Fulford's, and I went past the Fulford Elite little prep school out there. Oh my gosh. But then I read a plaque. So I went to the Fulford Museum of Grandpapa, right? So I actually walked out there and I just had to do this thing. And you know what?
But
They were the first ones to bring in all the frickin' pharmaceuticals, and they were the U.S. Senates.
I mean, Fulford, oh yeah. Fulford was Rockefeller's partner in Canada.
Oh yeah, a lot of people don't know that kind of stuff, or how the connection was and how they sent Walsh out to shut down Sitting Bull because they were protecting all the KlanMothers. That was
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I did a couple of years ago. We have this practice in our family. I was born the eldest of 9 children, and so we would, instead of everybody giving each other a gift, we would have you pick stuff out of a hat and everybody give one gift. So one of my brothers gave me the National Geographic Geno 2.0,
Okay.
which is a planetary thing. And what's good is that you can put your thing in the hat. So they're building a global thing. So this goes back to, so you see the whole thing going back to Africa, to the Khoisan. And I interviewed the chief of the Khoisan a few months ago because he established the Republic of Good Hope, and everybody on the planet has Khoisan DNA, or just about everybody. And so it turns out that I have DNA that came over the land, which is Taino DNA, because I have indigenous DNA, and we figured out that it was the Taino tribe, which was the Caribbean native tribe, but not the Caribes, which were more aggressive. The Tainos were the island people that were kind of the good-natured people, which are like the like the party people, that welcome everybody and are always having a good time. Yeah. Well, I'm a Taino. So then it turned out that Christopher Columbus, 1492, was the drop-dead year that King Philip and Queen Isabella had given to have all of the, I don't know what to call them.
Dollars to him. Yeah, I know the
The sannyasin, the sanyayim, leave Spain. So what happened was that I call them hybrid Anunnaki reptilians. And so they went and said, look, King Philip, we'll cut you a deal and we'll go to the New World and bring back all of the gold for you for the thing Spain if you don't kick us out of Spain. So that was really a deal with the Sanhedrin-oriented race, okay?
Oh, I'm aware. Yeah, I'm right with you.
Predatory race. And so that's what Columbus was. It wasn't exploration. It wasn't to better the people. It was strictly to come over and raid the gold. So they went and the first thing they did is Hispaniola, and then they went to Cuba and they annihilated all of my tribe, which was the Taínos. No, they annihilated them. Do you know that they're all annihilated except that a few of them must have intermarried, and that's how I'm present here now. But they annihilated them. Do you know that there are no more Taínos? Except the way that they stand is that there's a Cuban word called Guajiro, which survived from the Taíno. The Guajiro, kind of the country peasants. And so they survived as peasants. And then the bohíos are like the peasants' huts. So that's how they they're just Guajiros. They're just, but they were really Taínos originally. You know what I'm saying? Somehow they survived 400 years, but they were totally annihilated by the Spanish. But it wasn't the Spanish, it was the Anunnaki reptilian hybrids that had contracted with the King of Spain to go in and to raid all the Spanish civilizations and villages, kill all the people, and bring back the gold. That was their contract so that he wouldn't kick them out of Spain. That's what the history is. So that's my background that I just wanted to testify before you as a clan mother so that you understand what happened to the people in the Caribbean, which hasn't been talked about that much. Because now the Cuban became the whorehouse of America and the gambling spot because the mob took it over and then the revolution happened. So I just wanted to explain that.
I really appreciate, you saying that, because what happens, and I understand it actually. So, so that you understand, there's something that's very important that people, and I'll send you the links. Okay, on Facebook, it's called Universal, never like that word, but Tim Phillips did it, Eagle Eye Man. But on Facebook, it's called Universal Writings of Meredith Quinn. Meredith Quinn was the legal law advisor for the Dakota Empire, i.e. the Dakota Nation. His great-great-grandmother, Agnes Strykad, was one of the few Dakota clan mothers left. And these were the thrivers out of Wounded Knee. So Meredith Quinn put many books together, and it was shared between many of the clans and the tribes. So when they first came to me as the clan mother, and by the way, it was through the Secret Space program, Rob Nicholson with Stolen Innocence, who's actually out in the Okanagan, okay, and protectors of the Stargates and stuff, okay? Those are the people that came to me to start educating, besides Zacharias Ditch and 12 Planet. That was so long ago, and then we have to wade through that. But what people don't realize is that in the Caribbean too, there was over 10 million indigenous people of different tribes that they wiped out in less than 10 years. So between Christopher Columbus, and you'll see, I've got actually the sigils, not just his signature, and what Queen Isabella did to your people. And when they transferred, it would translate to about $17 million he was paid off. They came here with full maps, everything else. They came here to genocide. You know, it's the same thing when I talk about the yoni steams. Okay, in the Caribbean and stuff, your thing would be called a bratango, okay, or banjo. Okay, there's a different word for it. But in the Caribbean and in Cuba, besides Guantanamo Bay and a few other things that are going to happen pretty soon, you know, and the Puerto Rico and the whole IMF, I'm well aware of how they did that and what they were doing with these golds and back to the Templars and stuff and how they did this. They were taking your people and the indigenous tribal people, and they called it the long pig. And to this day, that's what the pedophile Pizzagate is about. That these people, the Khazarians and the Anunnaki and Draco and all these hybrids are doing, is that they're taking the children, not just for the illusion, the Adrenochrome. Remember, you got to kill someone and get them into fear to get this out, and they spike them, you know, if they're eating them. But that's what they did. They killed them, and they sent them back to, as you think, England. And that was called the long pig. So that's what they were eating the people for. They were doing this way back when, back before the 14th, back before the whole thing. The KlanMother stuff and the agreements were way before and again, those were going back thousands of years. My genetics and stuff you can trace from the, you know, 7 daughters of Eve. I don't like that word from Brian Sykes, but the 13 original mothers, and then there were tribe mothers and stuff. Okay, that was passed down. That was like mother to whatever. They took their language away. Everyone was residential schooled here. Your people were basically almost wiped right out. Okay, and I'm the last couple of ours, you know, with ours too. And like ours were around Horodanka, which is around the Black Sea and that whole Atlantean thing. There are many different breakaway areas that they sent people out to save. That is one of the best things I could suggest. On YouTube, or most exciting, on YouTube it's called By Lester House. He's been dehorned, but whatever. The information's pretty valid when I was up there by Jasper, how they kicked him out and made him into legal co-ops. What they did is that they basically have been going and going and going. That's why I stayed with the Sinaiacs, Marilyn James and Bob Campbell. There's less than 200 of them left. I've been with people that there's less than 6 people that speak the original Cam language, Chamatic language. They've got it was called the Kamloops Wawa. The Jesuits came in here, wiped out all their thing, and gave them a new shorthand, the diplonamic thing. Oh, by the way, I know where they store that record too. It's in the basement in Nelson. I've been in the archives too. I've got pictures and I've been getting investigation, how they've done it. Patty Broussard has done so much stuff for you, for your genetic line, and preserved those. That's what the Micmac Indians did. I don't know if you realize. Patty's great-great-grandmother was the Fern KlanMother that was ran out of France and brought in by the Micmacs. So she's actually a bracket. Father's side is Broussard, but her mom was a bracket. Okay? And the brass were the top protector. She's got her coat of arms. She's got her helms, everything intact. But those Micmacs kept all the ET records, the treaties. And their pyramids and their temples underground are still intact. Because it's not about them.
Yeah. So maybe we with a very good program to do with you and Patty would be to reestablish and bring out to public memory all the bloodlines that have been attempted to be annihilated, and to honor them and reestablish them now in public visibility and memory, and to bring all those perps out so everybody knows who the perps are, what their MOs are, and just wash them out into nothingness, and then move all the bloodlines forward in time. What do you think?
Well, that's something that we definitely should, and I'll talk to Patty on that.
Yeah.
Basically, almost like, seriously, you want to talk about targeted? I got
it. I understand. I mean, the last program that Patty and I attempted to do, there was so much interference that our prime witness all of a sudden disappeared, and people backed out at the last minute, and it was, you know, so we couldn't even get the program off the ground. So I think that this program and other programs that we could do with Patty, which would be very good, we have to take a lot of care, because they don't want this information, which is the basic information, like the health information that you presented, to come out. So I mean, look at the weather warfare that we ran into today, which is kind of amazing, right?
You know, again, I can see the curtain. I'm only like half an hour from, like, you know, Camp Dundurn. I know where the Tribe of Dan's hanging out. You got to remember, I got an underground system tunnel here between Winnipeg, Medicine Hat, and Nelson, and Q552. So I'm right on the hub center, and I could film. When we did do the flooding, we can see from satellite. I mean, it's like ET UFO Central. They're bringing everyone up here. Those bloodlines are so important, though, for, you know, preserving. And that was the goal that Patty and I here. So we're here to preserve the tribes as well. And because their tribe mothers were killed out. So we need to have people with viable information. There are very few. I met like maybe Marilyn James. There's very few, you know. You don't cross my logging thing, you know. We've all been in jail, you know. Don't take our children, you know. Don't do this, don't do the logs, protect the water. There are very few people. I mean, this area was actually kind of juicy. You know why? Because I got probably 500,000. This is not Saskatchewan. This is the Cree. This is my mother's land. The Cree and the Hiawatha tribes were here, and they were the groundskeepers. And there's like 500,000. That's why they're so freaked out here. You know, 500,000 Crees here. That, you know, maybe a couple hundred Sinaiaks, but I got 500,000 Crees out here, and you got the Haida-Gwais and stuff out there. But again, you're in a radiation zone. You know, and it's not going to last that much. We can only transmute. We need to put us into facilities that are radiation proof. And it's going to be, you know, like I said, in who's got the data or the DNA. They've got everyone's DNA. Now, Patty did 2 phenomenal things that I really encourage you to watch first. I'll send you the links. But Project Extension, we did one. It's called Soho Triple Spiral and DNA. And then there's one called Who Are We? She'll teach you through the triple strand, the Lloyd Pye stuff. She's got all the charts, how they've wiped out every one of the tribes, what's left.
Yeah.
Like in hers, because she's got RZ blood. I mean, they don't teach you that you got Area 51. They don't tell you that we've got 40 some and a couple hundred alien races. And the portal thing right now, as I'm dealing with some of what they're talking about, the time travel thing that you and I are part of, is that their portals have been opened up. And they're trying to go back. These go way back before the Roman Empire. This is before the Dracos. They're going out to their, as they call the home worlds, their home territories, trying to fix things. We got portals showing up. We got 22 other apparently genetic races. It's a whole hodgepodge right now they're trying to deal with. And they're under severe attack themselves. You know, I'd like nothing better for them to all come here. But that's so necessary that we do this. And that was Patty's goal, is we have to reestablish, and the military's thing now is that they are to help reestablish. And I mean, I was sending things out to the US Marine Corps, and I was whoever, I sent like 20, 30 1,000, by the way, emails out to everything I could, you know, not just the black pope and the white pope and the whatever, but to those people. And they've been doing co-op things here. You may not always realize, is it a dam, or are they've got to open those dams. The water's got to flow, because where they've opened those dams again, or Patty did the flooding of the ley lines with all the salt water and all the forces, is that basically what they've done is we've got life generating again. Where they've made it barren, we've opened up under like an underground river seas with all that salt water and conductivity. Okay, so the life, the salt water is bringing back the life into the inner earth, coming back up. So we've got some pretty exciting, juicy things happening that have been kept suppressed for thousands and thousands of years, you know, and even the gene types. So like I said, if we could do that, that's what's so necessary, is to reestablish what they did. I mean, how are you going to correct these things that they've done to your tribes and to your genetics? They've basically wiped you out.
No, I understand. And at the same time, my friend and colleague, Bob Nichols, who reports regularly in Veterans Today, and he's an independent radiation expert, a former vet, is that the cities in the United States, in North America, are many times above the mandatory radiation evacuation limit.
Oh, totally.
We're talking about multiple times above the mandatory radiation evacuation limit. And that was the function of the Fukushima radiation, which they have using HARP and other weather warfare weapons, they have just kept and transported and targeted right onto the United States, right onto selected zones of Europe, keeping out the Habsburg Empire, keeping out Russia, because Putin is using his HARP facilities to keep the radiation out, because he's hip to all of this. And there's a radiation genocide going on North America now. And so that's why I take regular, here in Vancouver, we have over 100 medical cannabis dispensaries. I use one that sells only organic medical cannabis, but you can take capsules of 20 milligrams of organic CBD, or, you know, CBD, THC, or more. I mean, you can take higher dosages, and that I take that, since this is a high radiation zone. That is like a civil defense. It's my civil defense to prevent the formation of any cancer tumors or anything around me from the deliberate targeting of ionizing radiation from the targeting of the Fukushima, which is a deliberate targeting at the North American continent, as you know. And so I'm so glad that you were able to come here and show what the genius does, plus all of the other remedies, and you know, and open up, because I felt like a whole weight was going off of my shoulders. And then all of the other things that you have mentioned in terms of the root chakra activation, you know, I'm going to follow through on that. I've got a lot of homework to do. And this is just fantastic. So I think these are things that we can start now. Of course, on February 20th, now in 2018, we're starting the year of the Earth Dog. And this is perfect year of the Earth Dog. It only comes around once every 60 years kind of activity, which is, it's, you know, it's kind of, it's straight to the earth. It's prudent, it's wise. We're just moving through, taking care of our, you know, of our investments, of our wherewithal. And it's a collective thing. There has been, over this past 60 years, so much emphasis on individual wealth, on this, you know, greed is king. I mean, all that baloney. And now we're coming back to, like, you know, some kind of awareness of the collective, of how we are one, moving out of this duality consciousness. And I really liked the emphasis that you did today, and also in your work that you bring. So I want to salute that. And thank you for your emphasis on that.
And thank you again, and to the viewing audience and stuff too.
Yeah, your sound isn't quite high enough there.
I just thought I'd take it back. That amethyst bed, but it's too far from the mic. I didn't bring a headset.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you in closing with that too. And I'll talk with Patty, and we have to be, both sides, but again, we have to be very careful, because there are people on our teams that will, that didn't want to come.
No, this is something that can be for later on in 2018. I mean, there, you know, just as things develop, and just your talking about it, I think really begins to loosen things up.
Yeah, and I think that's really, really important. Like I said, I want to get this in there. This is why I've gone to bat with Ryan Williams. He's a genius. He really is. He's amazing.
Yeah.
And Dr. Ariel Policano. So I'm going to put both links. I know I just gave you one with Ariel's, but I'll get you one with Ryan's. And those links will then give them the 2 weeks gifted.
Oh, okay.
What I want them to do, because I want them to have it for free so that they don't have to go in the packages and stuff, but it will link you right in and will give you a freebie in there, so to speak, for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So just in here too, we did a functional zone thing, so we're still playing. I'm going to do your last one. We'll see what it looks like. I love doing this. And, you know, we'll maybe just end, and I'll just let the music and the tones, because I'm playing with this is customized. Like, it's amazing stuff just to see. And I know people have done Rife, and they've done pain genies, and they've done all sorts of stuff over the years. Who hasn't, and fiber scans and stuff. But this, I can totally customize your entire frequencies. I can do the intensity, the wave. I can do sine waves, square waves, sawtooth. You customize it to whatever you want. So once you know how to do this, and I can make my own libraries, which I did. And seriously, any people that are in, you know, I don't care if it's a biomat, they're into beamers, they're into isogenics, they're into young living, they're into, most people are into some sort of supplementation. In here, there's a thing that says libraries. And in the library area, you can just double check it just to let you know, because you said, is there anything else? I went, yeah. You can actually program on those plates your own supplements so that you don't have to pay for them ever again. That's huge. Okay, wow. So once you have the code or the essence of that product, you have like a barcode, a frequency code. You can program it in and you don't have to pay for your supplements again. So I can actually give anyone frequency medicine. It's not just about zapping things. It's about playing with the medicine back. So that's one of the things too. I went back. We just in there. We've gotten all those areas being cleaned up right now. We're going to do our fourth one. Then I'll leave you with the music. And that way, like I said, you can do it. Anyone will do it. Just get a little bag of whatever your Himalayan or Celtic or sea salt or something. Put it in a glass of water. You know, even just a little bit, and just take it over the next few days. You're going to get some pretty wild results. And I challenge anyone, you know, they got a question, get a hold of me. I love doing this. Or Facebook Live, you know, and Ariel, like I said, we do it every Monday. She's the trainer for this. If they want new careers, you don't have to pay 40, 60,000 in a medical degree. You can be up doing this within 8 hours. That's how quick we've got them trained. Because we want it really simple. I'm going to look at your last aura. Oh, this could be juicy. I can hardly wait. You ready? Okay. It's like knock, knock. Let's go look. Alfred who? I don't teach medicine hard. Okay. We're going to do that. Take a look. It's going to say begin analysis. There's going to be the last one coming up. Do it that way. I'm always excited. It's like a gift. You get to open up the new gift. And we get to be part of that, you know? Wow, wow, wow. Look at the changes we make that. We tag team and play together. That's huge. Alfred. I think I'm going to cry. When you do those kind of changes inside, and assist people like you're going to help with cleansing the tribes and helping reestablish our original stuff. I want everyone to take, I got to take a picture because I'm going to send 4 pictures out. Don't ever think we can't make a difference in someone's lives. Look at that. Do you see the indigo coming through and the higher moves and the clearing off? We still got some red physical stuff, obviously, to clear out of there. But look at the energy shift. How do you feel? I just want to get that. This is all about you today. Well, it's about us, but anyway, let us do it.
No, I feel really, I feel really good. I feel really empowered. I feel, you know, moving, alive. I feel tremendous, you know, like this.
This is why I do this. This is why I get up every day, the dawn and the dusk. That's huge. In closing, I just want this to play. I don't even want to say anything. This is just about being. And you can close out maybe after about a minute. I just want you to enjoy this. It's my gift. I have the gifts and the fruits of the Spirit. And you're going through another. Okay, so every minute is switching over to the oil or the herb or the meridian. So you're going to feel things moving. Doing some opening there, are you?